roommate, Steve.
Already pointed out one apparent mistake that's been made in this coup, but we have to wait. The next day or two will tell us.
Colonel Taylor, we must leave it there. We appreciate your being, especially here in the midsection, low humidity and comfortable temperatures. That's our weather.
And tomorrow, all the latest developments from the Soviet Union.
So have a good day. We'll see you then.
Spencer Christian's wardrobe provided by Greif Studio.
Whenever weather is very important in this area, people do tune to us. We can go on the air within a moment's notice.
If it's life-threatening, believe me, it's going on first.
We start running. When severe weather breaks, we start running.
You cannot make a mistake.
You have to be certain. You cannot go on the air with an unsubstantiated report.
We're totally committed.
Reliable. Advanced.
When weather happens in Detroit, people turn to Channel 7.
Thunderstorms that have been moving across.
She cheated on her husband with another woman. Next, Donahue.
Kelly & Company is brought to you in part by the Turkey Store. Look for all 5 delicious varieties in your grocer's fresh meat case. Some single women will date only married men. Is it the intrigue, the idea of the forbidden fruit? If you are one of those women, we need you for an upcoming show. Call us now at 827-9336, 827-9336.
It's got to be smaller.
Oh, yeah, I love it when the package weighs about 300 pounds.
You need a lot less.
I don't like having to use a lot of detergent.
It would never spill.
I love it when it spills all over the place.
I'd make it powerful.
Yeah, we'll get the clothes clean.
And it wouldn't dare fade my colors.
Definitely. Is that asking too much?
Cheer with Color Guard. A scoopful cleans a machine full.
I'm talking clean.
What should you do when fun turns to tragedy? Was your injury caused by bad luck or a badly designed product? I'm attorney Sam Bernstein. If you've been injured in an accident involving an all-terrain vehicle, we can evaluate your accident by phone and help you determine if you are due money damages. Call me for your free phone consultation.
Remember, call Sam free. Dial 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Hello, I'm Kaylani Ray Rafko for Advanced Dermatology and Acne Centers, and I'd like to introduce you to some of the people who took my advice and fought back against acne.
I tried everything. Nothing seemed to help until I came to Advanced Dermatology Centers.
Following the treatment was easy. My medical insurance paid for all my treatments.
Don't accept acne as a fact of life. Fight back with advanced medical treatment. Call the acne specialists at 557-7800.
If you're looking for a new career opportunity, listen to this. There's never been a better time to be an electronics repair technician, like me. We're really in demand, and you could be too. The National Education Center is now offering a course to train you as an electronics repair technician. Call now for a copy of this brochure. This could be your chance of a lifetime.
For a brochure on career training in electronics, call 1-800-722-7337. That's 1-800-722-7337. Call now.
Whether it's air or water pollution, are you concerned about how the environment is affecting your health? If so, we're interested in talking with you about an upcoming show. Call 827-9336, 827-9336 now.
If you ride a motorcycle, one thing you won't get from an automobile is respect. No matter how carefully you ride, motors will knock you right off the road. If you've been injured while riding a motorcycle, call me, Attorney Larry Korn. We'll go after the money you need for medical bills, lost paychecks, and your pain and suffering.
Injured on a motorcycle? Call Attorney Larry Korn at 352-1000.
Hurt riding a motorcycle? It's time you get respect. Call me, Attorney Larry Korn. We can help.
This old floor, this old floor, this old floor looks dim and dingy. This old floor looks dull, it's true. But with Top Job with ammonia, this old floor could look like new.
Older floors have cracks and crevices that trap dirt. Top Job has ammonia. Top Job penetrates deep, dissolves the trapped-in dirt that makes older floors look dull.
When I give this floor to Top Job, this old floor could look like new.
Sometimes you just have to take charge and take off. Because there's nothing that says you can't be a good mother and a good friend at the same time. And you're likely to find that some things have changed for the better, while some things haven't changed at all. Bowling at BPAA centers, it's a whole lot more than a game.
Sign up for a league this week at your local Michigan bowling center.
Ragu introduces Chicken Tonight Simmer Sauces, and suddenly everybody's saying,
I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight, chicken tonight.
Choose from 6 new sauces. Each one's made with real vegetables and herbs, so you can make dishes like country French chicken and chicken cacciatore. Just brown the chicken, simmer, and serve.
I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
New Chicken Tonight Simmer Sauces from Ragu.
Chicken tonight.
Actress Demi Moore carried her pregnancy beautifully on a recent magazine cover. But maybe your pregnancy makes you feel and look fat and frumpy. If you're currently pregnant, we need you for an upcoming show. Call 827-9336, 827-9336.
What do you get when Kohl's opens 2 new stores in Detroit during back-to-school time? A, savings on health tax. B, savings on Oshkosh Bagage. C, savings on Buster Brown. What else can you save on? A, Levi's for the family. B, all Nike shoes. C, all Mrs. and Junior Cherokee sportswear. To take advantage of these great savings, you have to A, go to one of our 2 new stores in Detroit. B, go to any of our 10 Detroit locations. C, look in Kohl's 64-page grand opening catalog. The answer to all of the above is all of the above. Kohl's, your back-to-school and grand opening headquarters.
It was horrible. Our surf commercial. Kevin comes home from college with disgusting laundry. P.U. Look out. Boo. There goes the neighborhood. Hey, boy. Newton's out. So's Kevin.
That's okay on dirt, but only new system surf gets out top odors, too.
Before surf.
Yuck. And after.
Yes. Really bad dirt and odors, use new system surf. In order to prove that homemade brand cookies and cream ice cream contains more cookies than a leading national premium brand, I shall cut through these containers with a chain saw. Seems simple enough, eh? And there we are. Well, homemade brand certainly has larger chunks of cookies, wouldn't you say? My, what an ingenious demonstration this has turned out to be.
Homemade brand ice cream. With so much goodness, it has to be homemade.
Do you remember the good times you had at your Michigan State Fair? The rides, the food, the animal, the exhibits, the contests, big name entertainment? Well, it hasn't changed. The good times are still there. So treat your family to some good, old-fashioned, wholesome summertime fun. Come back to the enjoyment that can only be found at your Michigan State Fair. Save your Michigan State Fair. Go there and also have some fun.
Have you been dating your boyfriend for years, but you just can't get him to tie the knot? Or is it you who's afraid of commitment? We want to hear from you. Call us at 827-9336.
Time magazine called him the master funny man of the age. The LA Times called him one of the funniest people in the world. Now, for the first time ever, the legendary king of comedy and music is captured on video in the best of Victor Borge.
Pardon me, madam, are you laying eggs?
It's the funniest, most outrageous comedy classic ever recorded.
Isn't it a shame these big fat opera singers always lean against the pianos and bend them?
Recorded live, this collector's edition of Priceless Comedy is a must for every Victor Borge fan.
Marilyn will sing the the what? The Kakanomi aria from the opera Rigor Mortis.
It's the incomparable Victor Borge in his best loved, most heartwarming comedy performance of all time. The best of Victor Borga on VHS is only $19.95. This classic comedy collection is not available in any store at any price. To order your personal copy, you must act now.
To order the hilarious Best of Victor Borga, use your credit card and call toll-free 1-800-972-1700. That's 1-800-972-1700. Or send $19.95 plus $3.95 postage and handling to Victor Borga, P.O. Box 4400, Department AE, Huntington Station, New York. That's Victor Borga, P.O. Box 4400, Department AE, Huntington Station, New York. Or for rush delivery, call 1-800-972-1700.
Are you the funniest housewife on the block? Do you keep your neighbors in stitches? If your friends are convinced that you should be a stand-up comic, this is your chance to audition for Kelly & Company's Comedy Corner. Housewives only, please. Call 827-9336, 827-9336 for more information.
It's not ground beef. It's fresh ground turkey from the turkey store. A healthy, delicious alternative to ground beef. It's lean, never greasy. So take a break from the same old grind. With fresh ground turkey from the turkey store.
Success begins with the right school. The right school is Ross.
Ross was the right school for me.
And Ross can be the right school for you. You see, in just 24 weeks at Ross Business Institute, you can learn the high-tech skills needed to work in today's business office.
I called Ross. Now I work in a business office.
For the right school, call Ross Business Institute at 277-ROSS. That's 277-ROSS. Call today.
The right school is Ross.
Recently, Healthline magazine compared 16 popular diets. And you know what? Only Nutrisystem got a perfect score. Not Jenny Craig, not Weight Watchers. Only Nutrisystem. What does that mean to you? This is what it means. Now pay for a 10-pound program and lose the rest for free at Nutrisystem. Call 1-800-321-THIN.
Homeowners, the time is now. The number is 272-4400. The Wallside Window Factory. Wallside Windows save you time, money, and energy. Wallside Window Factory custom builds, installs, services, and guarantees its windows. Nobody else does all that. Nobody but Wallside. Wallside windows are made with genuine Ford glass and start at just $199.
Martin Blank, president of Wallside Window Factory. Wallside Windows is your best assurance of value.
Call Wallside now at 272-4400 for a free estimate.
Listen to me. I want you to cross at the corner and look both ways because people today will run right over you.
Today, the streets are even more dangerous than you think.
You like flying? I got something that'll really make you fly.
So talk to your kids about drugs or somebody else will.
Food reporter Bert Wolf for Puritan Oil from the makers of Crisco.
The newspapers are filled with saturated fat. If you're reading the stories and cooking smarter for your family, and you'd like to know once and for all which type of cooking oil is lowest in saturated fat, read the back of the Puritan label. Here's the most common vegetable oil. Here's olive oil, corn oil, and Puritan oil. It's lower than all three. Puritan oil, 94% unsaturated. No oil is lower. Now here's a smart way to make a chicken stir fry. With skinless chicken, white meat only, it has less fat, but it still tastes great because Crisco makes Puritan oil. And they make it to let the delicious, light taste of your cooking come through. With Puritan, you can cut down on saturated fat, and I promise your family won't miss it.
94% unsaturated Puritan oil from Crisco. Trust Crisco because you're cooking for your family.
Call 458-SLIM right now. MD Diet Control is standing by to help you lose weight. Anne Marie Williams lost 52 pounds and feels great. Now you can lose up to 20 pounds for only $29. Call MD Diet Control now. 458-SLIM. 458-SLIM.
Are you or someone you love having feelings of depression, worthlessness, or a drug or alcohol problem? Ease the pain. Call the Psychiatric Center of Michigan.
Driving just 5 miles per hour slower than we usually do will save over 2 million gallons of gas a day and help keep America out of the red. Do your part. Drive smart.
Listen to me. I want you to cross at the corner and look both ways because people today will run right over you.
Today, the streets are even more dangerous than you think.
You like flying? I got something that'll really make you fly.
So talk to your kids about drugs or somebody else will.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Barb.
Hi, Betty. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bill.
Why are you hiding? Foot Locker makes going back to school almost fun.
Dear Mrs. Ate-A-Lot, please excuse Stevie from school today, tomorrow, and the rest of his life.
Face it, you gotta go back. So go where the best stuff's on sale. Foot Locker, where it all begins.
At House of Blinds & More, it's our factory that makes the difference. We'll beat any competitor's price, but your blinds are free.
Save 50% plus 25% more on all verticals, minis, duet shades, and more. Our decorators will help you select from thousands of styles during your free shop-at-home estimate. Our factory will produce your blinds fast. Our professionals will install your blinds free. You get the perfect blinds at the lowest price.
Remember, if we can't beat your best deal, your blinds are free.
Call House of Blinds & More at 357-4710.
It was one of my favorite shows, country music's hottest, on the next Oprah Winfrey Show. Yahoo!
Oprah, weekdays at 4 on 7.
Alarmco vinyl replacement windows will knock your socks off. These energy-saving, high-performance windows can make your home look like $1,000,000. Alarmco windows. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee quality. Buying direct from the Alarmco factory can save you up to $150 on each window. Call this toll-free number now. Alarmco vinyl replacement windows, 100% maintenance-free, made of energy-efficient SunShield vinyl, backed by Alcoa. You save hundreds of dollars on heat and air conditioning. Tough fusion-welded construction with Livy Owens Ford Energy Advantage low-E argon-filled glass. We guarantee top quality in every window. And you'll love these extra features. Easy tilt-in cleaning, senior citizen discount, a lifetime transferable warranty, and a special limited offer for first-time Alarmco buyers. You'll get a built-in central burglar alarm system absolutely free. Pick up the phone and call this number now. Alarmco, what a window!
It's a special place for you to bring your family. It's a special place for you to bring your friends. A special place with that special touch where all of our customers mean so much. Ramshorn has that personal touch for you. Ramshorn has that personal touch for you.
What do you get when Kohl's opens 2 new stores in Detroit during back-to-school time? A, savings on health techs. B, savings on Oshkosh Bagosh. C, savings on Buster Brown. What else can you save on? A, Levi's for the family. B, all Nike shoes. C, all Mrs. and Junior Cherokee sportswear. To take advantage of these great savings, you have to A, go to one of our 2 new stores in Detroit. B, go to any of our 10 Detroit locations. C, look in Kohl's 64-page grand opening catalog. The answer to all of the above is all of the above. Kohl's, your back-to-school and grand opening headquarters.
This message is for anyone who has suffered an injury, any kind of injury. The Injury Action Line is here to serve you, to give you the straight answers about your legal rights. The call is free. The consultation is free. And there's never an attorney's fee until you collect for your injury. Don't delay. There's no obligation. We're here to serve you. Call the Injury Action Line at 1-800-553-HELP. That's 1-800-553-HELP. Do it now.
Dealing with the death of an entire family. Next, Sally.
Some of these women left their husbands for another woman.
This is an ABC News special report. Crisis in Moscow. Now reporting from New York, Peter Jennings.
Good morning. Another chaotic day in the Soviet Union. Perhaps Congressman Lee Hamilton of Indiana put it best when he said tanks on the streets of Moscow put the whole world on edge. There are many questions this morning. Where is Mikhail Gorbachev? No one in the U.S. Intelligence Committee knows for sure. There are some reports in Moscow, all unconfirmed, that he has been returned to the Soviet capital. Question, can this right-wing coup be reversed? The Russian leader Boris Yeltsin has spoken to one of many rallies in the country today, in Moscow, in Leningrad, and elsewhere, calling on the Russian and other people to defy the coup leaders. though there is some feeling in the White House, at least according to source reports this morning, that the coup leaders have at least the upper hand if they decide to maintain it for the short run. It's very hard to get a feeling for what is really happening in the Soviet Union today because the coup leaders have shut down all independent Soviet radio, television, and newspapers. Only very hardline party newspapers have been allowed to publish so far today. At the White House this morning, in fact, just about now, the president is swearing in his new ambassador to the Soviet Union, Robert Strauss. There are some serious questions at the moment as to whether or not Mr. Bush is actually going to send Mr. Strauss at the moment. Some questions in Washington today about whether he's the right man, now that Mr. Gorbachev has been shunted aside, and whether or not an ambassador should be sent at a time when the president has not given any indication that he recognizes the new Soviet leaders who took power in a coup the night before last. Mr. Bush has been getting tougher as he goes along. You may recall he said yesterday that this misguided and illegitimate effort bypasses both Soviet law and the will of the Soviet people. In about half an hour from now, the president is going to hold a news conference in the White House. Perhaps then we'll all get some more answers to the many outstanding questions. I'm Peter Jennings in New York.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
If you're tired of hunting for your vacuum cleaner's attachments, get the new Dirt Devil Upright. It's lightweight, easy to use, and all the attachments are built right into the vacuum, so you can clean everything from floor to ceiling and edge to edge without stopping to find a thing. And because it's a Dirt Devil, it's packed with plenty of cleaning power. So stop hunting for your attachments. Get the new Dirt Devil Upright, the all-in-one cleaner that cleans it all.
Carol, you baked this cheesecake.
I can't believe you baked a cheesecake.
This tastes wonderful.
Oh, I want seconds.
Carol, I want the recipe.
Not me. I'll wait till they come up with a nice, easy mix.
Right, a mix with real cherries. Come on.
Honestly, Carol, this must have taken all day.
Yeah, no wonder you didn't have time to do your hair.
New Jell-O cheesecake, now with real fruit topping.
You know, I hear Jell-O makes a good cheesecake.
The law offices of Lee Steinberg knows results speak louder than words. Lee Steinberg obtained $250,000 for a Macomb County woman injured by a defective machine. An Ingham County man received $375,000 for a slip and fall at a construction site. A Wayne County man received over $650,000 for an automobile accident and defective highway. A child received $600,000 for damage due to medical malpractice. If you've been injured, call Lee Steinberg for a free phone consultation. Lee Steinberg gets results. 352-7777.
From Touchstone Pictures, actor Miles Pope is the man of 1,000 faces. And the mob wants all of them whacked. I gotta disappear now. But if he wants to save his skin, you make me look like Wayne Newton. He'll have to give the performance of a lifetime.
Frankie, salud. I know who I am, and it's not Ward Cleaver.
True identity.
I'm a mulatto. From the waist down, that's how it happens sometimes.
Rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Have you seen this? It's Healthline magazine, and it rates Nutrisystem #1 out of 16 popular diet regimens, the only one they gave a perfect score. Does that surprise me? Not at all. They're already #1 with me because only Nutrisystem helped me take off 25 pounds. Come on, give Nutrisystem a call. The only thing you've got to lose, you'll lose.
Now pay for a 10-pound program and lose the rest free at Nutrisystem. Call 1-800-321-THIN.
Kroger presents the stars of the Elephant Show live at the new Pine Knob. Sharon, Lois, and Bram. They are coming live. Sharon, Lois, and Bram, Sunday, August 25th at 1 and 5 p.m. Tickets are available now at the Palace Box Office and all Ticketmaster outlets. Sharon, Lois, and Bram at the new Pine Knob, now managed by the Palace of Auburn Hills. Brought to you by Kroger in association with Eagle Snacks.
Here at Highland, we're cutting you the best deals ever on all audio, video, appliances, and home office equipment. We're even putting up the competition's ads right in our store. Look at their prices, then look at ours. You'll see who's got the lowest prices. And if by chance you do somehow find a lower price on any item we carry, we'll beat that price on the spot. We guarantee it. Highland, we'll cut you a better deal, period.
They were best friends. They laughed together. They played together. They even cheated together.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
If you cheat or know of someone cheating, You must come forward.
What price will they have to pay?
I feel like I'm in a nightmare.
And will their lives change forever?
I've been in trouble before. If I own up, I'm out of here.
The Cheats. The story of 4 young women learning the lessons of life the hard way. An assignment education special. Thursday night at 8, only on 7.
Is an ABC News special report. Crisis in Moscow. Now reporting from New York, Peter Jennings.
Good morning. We interrupt our regular programming because in about a minute and a half from now, President Bush is going to come out to the White House and answer some questions about U.S. policy towards the Soviet Union. Perhaps the President knows some things the rest of us do not know about what's going on in the Soviet Union. But just very quickly before we go to the White House, I want to go to Moscow and ask our bureau chief there, Jim Laurie, just one question. Jim, do we know today the whereabouts of Mikhail Gorbachev?
We have just received, Peter, some fairly firm information from the Crimea, and we have established that Mr. Gorbachev is still in his dacha, his home, approximately 20 miles from Yalta, in a town called Faros. He was placed under house arrest there on Sunday. There were earlier reports that he'd been removed and taken somewhere else, perhaps back here to Moscow. But we talked to 2 different sources in Yalta, one his personal physician and another attendant, and they say that he is still there, although they do not have access to him.
Okay,
Peter?
Jim, thanks very much. We'll come back to you as soon as the President's news conference is over. There have been some very large demonstrations in the Soviet Union today. Boris Yeltsin and the former Soviet Foreign Minister Edward Shevardnadze spoke to a large crowd in Moscow in which they both appealed to people there to defy the coup's leaders. There were demonstrations in some of the Baltic republics where the Soviet military has moved quite quickly to try to clamp down on the independence movements there. There's no indication that they've had any success. The Soviet ambassador to the United States is still on station, but the Soviet foreign minister who is in the Soviet Union is apparently not very well at the moment, but we are told he is temporarily unwell. As I said, many questions, including whether or not President Bush is going to send his new ambassador to the Soviet Union, who he swore in the White House just a short while ago. So here is the Rose Garden of the White House. The White House press corps gathered. The President, as you know, returned from Kennebunkport in Maine yesterday, so he could get a better handle on events in the Soviet Union, and now we shall see whether or not he's going to continue to get tougher with the new Soviet coup leaders as he has in the last 24 hours. That's his ambassador designate on his right, Bob Strauss.
Soviet Union continue to deeply concern the whole world. The unconstitutional seizure of power is an affront to the goals and aspirations that the Soviet peoples have been nurturing over the past years. This action also puts the Soviet Union at odds with the world community and undermines the positive steps that have been undertaken to make the Soviet Union an integral and positive force in world affairs. I have this morning spoken with Boris Yeltsin, the freely elected leader of the Russian Republic, and I assured Mr. Yeltsin of continued U.S. support for his goal of the restoration of Mr. Gorbachev as the constitutionally chosen leader. And I also shared with him the support that other world leaders voiced in my several conversations yesterday, conversations I had with those leaders in Eastern Europe and leaders in Western Europe as well, Prime Minister Kaifu, and I gave him that reassurance. Mr. Yeltsin is encouraged by the support of the Soviet people and their determination in the face of these trying circumstances. He expressed our gratitude, his gratitude for our support of him and President Gorbachev. The situation concerning President Gorbachev's status is still unclear, and I've twice tried to reach him by phone, including within the last hour, but have so far been unsuccessful. We continue to closely monitor this situation. Our new, and I might add, very able ambassador to the Soviet Union, Robert Strauss, just sworn in, will be departing immediately from Moscow to take charge of our embassy and to report to me on the situation that he finds in the Soviet Union. So I'm asking him to go over there, get the lay of the land, establish what will be strong leadership. The embassy, we've got a good team in place, but This man is in charge of this important mission, and then to return within the next several days to give me a full personal report on what he sees there. He will not be presenting his credentials on this trip. It's going to be a short trip, and I've said that this group assume power extra-constitutionally. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that we are going to monitor the situation closely and consider its ramifications throughout the entire world. And I've emphasized in my conversation with the Eastern European leaders that the democratic processes in their country cannot be reversed. Eastern Europe is important, and I've called 3 of the leaders, and I want to take this opportunity to assure them of our continued interest and the need to retain calm in those countries. And indeed, they were very grateful for the contact by the United States. The United States will continue to support the economic and political reforms in their countries, and I will continue to seek the advice and counsel of Eastern European leaders in the days ahead. And of course, the Secretary and I will be in close touch with the Western European leaders and others around the globe. Because this is an ongoing process of consultations, we intend to maintain a more formal work schedule during the remainder of my stay in Maine. There will be a number of meetings with government officials and private sector experts related to the events in the Soviet Union. There will be daily briefings on a formalized basis by my national security advisors, and I will be keeping in touch with Secretary Baker. As you know, I will be receiving Prime Minister Mulroney and also Prime Minister Major, and of course receiving Ambassador Strauss when he returns. Secretary Baker will be leaving today for the NATO ministerial will be held in Brussels. These difficult events in the Soviet Union, I believe, demonstrate the wisdom of our strong and continuous support for the process of reform and restructuring. And we'll continue to support the democratic processes that have been set in motion in the Soviet Union. And most importantly, I know that the American people stand behind the people of the Soviet Union who are seeking more freedom and more opportunity in their society. So I'd like now to turn this podium over to Ambassador Strauss for a comment, and then Secretary Baker and I will be glad to take questions, or Ambassador. And I have here, of course, our top national security team, and Secretary Cheney and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs is here, the Vice President, and if you wanted to direct questions to any of them, why, that would be fine too. We're following all the situations on all fronts there, economic, military, whatever it is, very, very closely. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me just very briefly say that when circumstances have changed rather dramatically since I accepted this assignment. It's a different world. Nevertheless, although circumstances have changed, as I said, it seems to me that my mission remains basically the same, and that is to go to Moscow, to speak very clearly, speak very plainly, and if necessary with undiplomatic candor from time to time, to speak for you, Mr. President, and you, Mr. Secretary, and for the American people, and to speak for the principles of freedom and democracy, rule of law, and that I intend to do. I thank you for this, express my appreciation to you for the confidence you've shown in me, and I'll do my best to fulfill the job. Thank you, sir.
Well, I'd be glad to entertain a few questions. Rita?
Do you have any evidence that this coup might be on shaky ground in line with what you mentioned yesterday about sometimes coups fail, and that possibly the opposition that's rallying around Yeltsin has any possibilities to turn it around? And what kind of support are you able, or will you give them other than verbal?
Well, I said yesterday that some coups fail. The likelihood of this, it's hard to evaluate in this circumstance. However, there appears to be very strong support from the people in the Soviet Union for constitutional government, for democratic reform. And when you see the numbers turn out, President Yeltsin told me that he anticipated he thought there were 100,000 people near his building. When I talked to him a few minutes ago, he thinks that there will be strong support from the labor to his request that labor go out and don't produce until this matter is resolved. So you don't take freedom away from people very easily. You don't set back democracy very easily. And I'd say that it is in the best interest of the Soviet Union and its relations with other countries if a constitutional government is promptly put back into operation there.
What kind of support, though, are you going to give Yeltsin? Or are you just have to stay on the sidelines and offer verbal encouragement?
Well, we're certainly going to offer encouragement in every way we can, and we're making very clear to the coup plotters and the coup people that there will not be normal relations with the United States as long as this illegal coup remains in effect. The Western Europeans have met, and they have come out with a statement along those lines. And I think with the exception of a few renegade regimes around the world, we're seeing universal condemnation. So let's hope that will bring these people to their senses. I was just looking here at the statement from the EC decisions, and they have concluded that it's this CSCE Human Rights Conference in Moscow should not go forward, and we will certainly back them in that. Technical assistance, they're following what I mentioned yesterday in holding back all of that. And they have some serious economic problems, and they need the help of the West, and they need the cooperation of Eastern Europe, and they're not going to get it under existing conditions.
President, diplomatic reality.
Yeah, Helen.
What happens now to the co-sponsorship of the Middle East Conference? Will we do it alone, and other front burner issues with the Soviet Union? And what was the gist of the letter from Yanayev?
It's far too early to say what will happen to the Middle East Conference. The whole world wants to see that succeed. The hopes for peace in the Middle East, and again, I credit Secretary Baker for his indefatigable efforts in putting together this peace process. The whole world wants to see it succeed, and I hope that there will be no frustration of that on the part of the Soviet Union, who have heretofore played a very constructive role in all of that. But again, we are not in contact with Foreign Minister Besmertnik. We simply don't know what's going to happen. What was the other part of your question?
Go it alone.
Well, I mean, we will continue to fight we'll continue to use our best efforts to bring peace to the Middle East, no matter what happens. Of course we will. But let's face it, the Soviet Union heretofore has been constructive, and they're important in the United Nations concept, and they're important on their own with the relations they have with some other countries. It is ironic that only a handful of countries, predictably, extreme countries, have supported what's happening in Moscow. I think of Libya, I think of Iraq, and I think of Cuba. These are renegades. These are people that have been swimming against the tide of democracy. And the rest of the world appears to be very upset with this usurpation of power.
President, in the past, you've had differences with Chancellor Kohl over monetary aid to the Soviet Union. In your telephone conversation with him yesterday, did you say it was imperative that they not give any money to the new regime?
No, we worked out at the G7 meeting an agreement with Chancellor Kohl that he fully supported. Germany has some special problems. Germany wants those troops, Russian troops, out of a unified Germany. We want the troops out of a unified Germany, but that was not discussed.
Aside from Secretary Baker's trip to Brussels, is this situation such that you might want to see the European leaders meet together in a summit?
Well, I'm not sure that that's the next step. We're in close contact with them. I talked to the G7 leaders yesterday, including Ruud Lubbers, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, who's head of the EC now, and I'm not sure that a face-to-face meeting of the European leaders and the United States and Japan would be productive at this point. But I think the process of Jim going to NATO, his doing that is a very important step. Yes, these two over here.
Mr. President, you say that our economic relations with the Soviet Union are now on hold. Does that mean you're actively going after suspending grain credits, for example, or delaying most favored nation status?
Well, we're just sitting here for a while, leaving everything on hold, as I've said. We're reviewing all these matters, and it's way too early to say how each individual category is going to work out. It's simply we've got to just take our time. We've got to be prudent, a word I think is applicable here. And I think we've got to be strong. I think the world is turning to the United States for leadership here, many countries. And I think the best thing to do now is to put these matters on hold. We did this yesterday. As you've seen, the Europeans, Western Europeans have followed suit. We don't want to hurt people anywhere in terms of starvation, things of that nature. But that's not the question right now. So it's premature for me to say what agreements will go forward and what won't. I will always have in mind what is in the national interest of the United States, however.
Mr. President, in light of your statement of late yesterday afternoon, and in light of the fact that you're now denouncing the new regime in Moscow as illegitimate and unconstitutional, might you now or soon be considering granting to Lithuania and the other Baltic republics, which are, after all, elected governments, the full recognition they have long demanded?
Our position on the Baltic states has not changed, and if there's ever a change in the position, we'll let you know. As you all know, we have not ever recognized the forcible incorporation of the Baltic states into the Soviet Union. And that's where that matter is right now. But we are not giving up on the restoration of constitutional government in the Soviet Union itself. And so we'll leave that matter right there.
Well, Mike, if that fails, sir,
I'm not going to go into any hypothesis. I don't want to give hope to the coup plotters by suggesting that it is going to fail. Let's see, here we are over here.
Are you saying that if the coup succeeds and the Soviet government, this new Soviet government, is in power a long time, that the U.S. still would not recognize the Soviet Union?
You must have missed what I said to Britt. I'm not going to go into anything that hypothetical. There's no point in trying to spell out way in advance of events what we might or might not do. And the main thing I want to do is see the restoration of constitutional government. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to take hypothetical questions or respond to questions of a hypothetical nature. I simply can't do that.
You're very definite in the short term about not recognizing them.
I'm very definite in what I said in this statement, yes.
About the whereabouts or the well-being of Mr. Gorbachev, or from anyone else for that matter?
Mr. Yeltsin told me that he tried to send emissaries to see Mr. Gorbachev, that those emissaries were unsuccessful because Mr. Gorbachev is being prevented from seeing people. As I say, I've tried to call him yesterday. I think Prime Minister Major tried the same thing. I tried again today. Mr. Gorbachev is the duly constituted leader of the Soviet Union, and we will continue to try. The other thing that Yeltsin told me is that, and I think he's said this publicly, that he feels that if this medical answer has any validity to it, that the World Health Organization should be permitted to see and examine Mr. Gorbachev. I can tell you that Yeltsin doesn't believe that, and I must tell you I don't believe it. But that is one of the canards being thrown out. It's really old-fashioned, but nevertheless, we will continue to try to stand with Mr. Gorbachev, as Yeltsin is trying to do.
Mr. President, are you going to have to increase our stores of ammunition now? Are you going to leave more troops in Europe than you would have taken out?
I'm not crossing any of those bridges now at all. I've mentioned that the matter is where it stands. We're not moving any forces. Secretary Cheney and General Powell can respond to that when I finish if anyone wants to go further, but there's no, I'm not trying to elevate any chance of military confrontation. Nobody wants that, and I hope that that's true of the coup plotters. It's certainly true of Eastern Europe, of Western Europe, and of the United States of America, and it's darn sure true of the people that elected Mr. Yeltsin, and it's true of the people that have supported constitutional reform in the Soviet Union, which are vast majorities. So I'll leave it right there. Yeah.
Mr. President,
the Soviet regime be that concerned about American threats, considering it so far has been a bloodless coup and considering our response to the Tiananmen Square massacre?
What was that again?
Should the new Soviet regime be that concerned with American threats, considering so far it's been a bloodless coup?
Who's threatening? Who's threatening?
You have not, you're not going to say, give them any diplomatic recognition at this point?
I don't view that as a threat. I view that as a status, as a factual statement that's not threatening at all. We are committed. Nobody should be surprised that we remain committed to democratic reform and to constitutional government there. And that means that Gorbachev, who was constitutionally installed, is in our view in power. You know, it's interesting that Inayev is saying he looks forward to working with Gorbachev. It seems to me that gives a certain credibility what I'm just saying. But I've raised the question, I hope not in a testy manner, about military confrontation, because I think we want to cool that. This isn't a time to threaten militarily or to move forces around just to show machoism. That's not what's called for here. What's called for is diplomacy. What's called for is commitment to principle, backing those people who are committed to reform, backing the people in the Soviet Union and in the republics. Right over here.
Yeah, Mr. President, you said that there are other democratic forces in the Soviet Union that they may help. It seems that you wouldn't settle for anything but Gorbachev, but do you see other democratic forces emerging there that could play a very big role? Who are they? And also,
well, there's plenty of people that are committed. Look at the mayor of Leningrad, for example. There are plenty of people who are committed to democracy and to reform there and in the republics. And I think one of the things that triggered this coup, the timing of the coup, was the fact that a union treaty was about to be signed, which gave certain rights to these republics. So believe me, there's thousands and millions of people that are committed to democratic reform. But why should I go into that question that might imply that we are turning our backs on the duly constituted leader? We're not going to do that.
You know, the present group seems to be trying to appeal to the people because they feel that they are hungry and they want food. Do you think that the London summit could have done something more financially?
Well, what they're trying to do is to say, look, we got energy problems, we got food problems, we got health problems, and we, the unelected coup, are going to solve those problems. They can't do it without outside support. And Mr. Yeltsin knows that, Mr. Gorbachev knows that, and these people will understand that. But what they're doing is trying to cloak their illegal move in a usurping power by saying to the people, we're going to help you in these areas where you've been shortchanged. And that will not succeed. They're going to need to go forward with these reforms if the Soviet Union is going to fulfill its potential. So that is a clear, obvious tactic they're using, but I don't think that people are going to buy into it. Jessica.
Mr. President,
I'm going to take two more after this, and then we've got to run.
President, when you spoke with Yeltsin, did he give you any indication that he feared for his personal safety, or that the Gorbachev family, Mrs. Gorbachev, was in any way, was with her husband away, or?
Yeah, nothing on the Gorbachev matter. And here was a man who was standing, Yeltsin, standing courageously against military force. And I told him that we respect you. You've been duly elected here. We pray for you, and we hope that you're successful. And what he wants to see is the restoration of constitutional government. He wants to see the rights of the republics, and he wants to see President Gorbachev restored to power. And he didn't say he's afraid. He's a very courageous man. And he says he's convinced that the people will stand with him, and well, they should. Charles, and then one more. That's it.
President, for you or for Ambassador Strauss, when he gets there, with just whom will he be meeting?
I'll leave that up to his good judgment, Charles, because you know Moscow so well, and it's very hard to say with whom he will be meeting. But one thing I want him to do is establish his leadership in our embassy, to consult with a highly professional staff there, one of whom is Mr. Collins, who's the DCM, to whom I talked yesterday, get the lay of the land from the ground, so it's less reaching out to individual leaders, but I'll leave that to his good judgment and the judgment of the Secretary of State. Last one, Owen, and then we're going. I haven't seen you in a long time over here.
I'm trying to establish, if I could follow up, I'm trying to establish whether it's cricket for him to meet with Mr. Yanayev, for example.
Well, I know we have no plans on that, and what we don't want to do is do anything that legitimizes this current regime or legitimizes what is clearly an illegal coup. And at this juncture, there are no plans for that. But again, this is a fast-moving situation, and we'll have to wait and see what his judgment is when he gets there and what he and the Secretary decide. Owen, and this is the last one.
Gorbachev over the past month. Did either of you in your conversations talk about the possibility of something like this happening or the possibility of even civil war in the Soviet Union?
Nope. What was talked about on his part was the irreversibility of this change. The fact that constitutional government is there, elections are over the horizon and have taken place in the republics, some of the republics, and his conviction that the people are committed to reform and certainly to openness, glasnost as well. And I've seen nothing in the last day or two that would compel him or me to alter that. Now, that isn't to say that there's a formidable obstacle right now in the way, and that is 8 people that have usurped unto themselves all the power and are trying to take over by force, although Yanayev has said he looks forward to working with Mr. Gorbachev in the future. So there wasn't a discussion of that. As you know, I think I have referred to, I know I have in our own meetings, concerns that we conduct ourselves in such a way to minimize the chance of military takeovers, and that military takeover has taken place. But I believe that the policy that we've had into effect of supporting Gorbachev, as Yeltsin is now has been doing over the last few months, is the correct policy. I think it is the best hope for democracy, was the best hope for democracy and reform, and remains the best hope for democracy and reform. You get hit from the left saying if you'd written out a better check, this wouldn't have happened, and I don't believe that for one single minute. And you get hit on the other side by people that are suggesting that if we hadn't been supportive of the duly constituted president of the Soviet Union, that things would have gone more swimmingly for democracy. I reject that. I don't believe there's any fact in that, and if there were, why was Boris Yeltsin, who was elected overwhelmingly, as supportive as he was and continues to be of Mr. Gorbachev? So there it is, and as I say, we will be departing. I'm going to continue this vacation. I'm going to encourage our people to, but I don't want to be under any false color. It's going to be different now than it's been. Maybe a little more like last year. What is it about August? And but I will closely monitor this. We have extremely good communications up there, not only with our own key leaders, the Secretary of State, ambassadors, Secretary of Defense, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, our Chief of Staff, our National Security Team, the Vice President. Communications are excellent. But I don't want to again, mislead people. I'm going to be spending a little more time, maybe quite a bit more time in various formal ways that you will see unveiled in staying on top of this situation. But I don't want to panic. I don't want to send a signal, but by sitting around the Oval Office here, looking busy, that the American people should expect an instant satisfactory answer to this problem. I don't want to elevate hopes by succumbing to the whims of a few political critics that suggest that the matter can be better done in another way. It happened the same thing last year, and I did it the way I thought was best, and I hope I will have the full support of the American people as we follow this very, very closely. But I want to redefine it because I said that this vacation was going to be all rest and no work, and now it's going to be changed somewhat, even though I have been getting briefed. We have tremendous press coverage up there, get our message out. We have excellent communications and contacts, and rather than elevate the hopes by churning around in here, I'm going to finish what I started out to do. And I will receive various visitors, and you'll be fascinated, I am sure, by who they are and it'll show you my commitment to staying right on top of this situation, because people are looking to the United States for the leadership in this disproportionately. And I might add this point. Neither the ambassador here or the Secretary of State or the Secretary of Defense or the Vice President or the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs or my White House advisors want to see this turn into an East-West confrontation. And we're going to get pushed. If I answered some of these hypothetical questions, I could inadvertently move things into an East-West confrontation. And that's not what this is about. Many changes, constructive changes, have taken place in the world as a result of Mr. Gorbachev's leadership, as a result of Mr. Yeltsin's election. Adherence to democracy, for example, in the latter case. And clearly all you have to do is look at Eastern Europe, you have to look at a united Germany, you have to look at cooperation in various areas around the world to know what I'm talking about. So what we don't want to do is inadvertently set back any of those changes that are very, very important to the United States and to the rest of the world, particularly to Eastern Europe. And so we will conduct ourselves less flamboyantly than some would have us do our business, but I think with a proper mixture of strength and conviction to these democratic principles. Thank you all very much.
What about the letter?
President Bush certainly making it clear that he's going back to his vacation home at Kennebunkport in Maine, but as he said, what's gone wrong with August, but he is going to have somewhat of a different vacation than he'd originally planned. But much more importantly than vacation at the moment, the president being very cautious in those closing remarks there about not wanting the Soviet crisis to become too internationalized, which to some extent it already has been, with the international community lining up against the coup leaders in the Soviet Union. And Mr. Bush increasingly getting sharper, if not tougher, with the Soviet coup leaders by saying we stand with Mr. Gorbachev and with Mr. Yeltsin. A lot of discussion there about Mr. Yeltsin, who, as you know, is the only duly democratically elected leader in the Soviet Union. Mr. Gorbachev has never been so. He's talked to Mr. Yeltsin. Mr. Yeltsin's had a message to the president yesterday. They have now talked. Mr. Yeltsin had tried to reach Mr. Gorbachev, and so have a number of Western leaders. They have been unsuccessful in doing so. But Mr. Bush says Mr. Yeltsin tells him he is encouraged by the support he, Mr. Yeltsin, is seeing from the Soviet people. He told Mr. Bush apparently he thought that labor, a lot of labor in the Soviet Union, of course, would go out in support of this defiance that Yeltsin has called for to the coup leaders. Let's go back to Moscow now, and our Moscow Bureau Chief, Jim Laurie, to see whether or not that's the same view they get from Moscow. Jim, in talking to you a little earlier on the phone, you said there was a lot of nervousness and a lot of apprehension down at the Russian White House, the headquarters of the Russian Federation in Moscow.
That's correct, Peter. We want to be very cautious about this, but a tense situation has developed at the Russian Federation headquarters, which is about 10 blocks from the ABC Bureau here. We received a telephone call from the office of Andrei Kozyrov, who is Mr. Yeltsin's foreign minister. He is due, in fact, to go to the States to meet with Mr. Bush later this week. And we are told that they fear an attack by military forces loyal to the Committee of Eight that took over power from Mr. Gorbachev yesterday. Their belief is lodged in radio communications that they are intercepting in the Russian Federation building, and they have put all of their people on alert. Now, to give you a little bit of the lay of the land, the Russian Federation building, it's a big white structure. It's known around here as the White House. It's located less than 2 blocks from the red brick U.S. Embassy. And at the moment, there are people all around this building. There are barricades, concrete, steel, buses, trolleys. Plus, there is 1 battalion of paratroopers and about 10 tanks and 6 armored personnel carriers around, and these particular units are loyal to Boris Yeltsin. Now, one report that we hear has it that the main forces of the military under the Committee of Eight would like to get rid of this battalion of troops that are loyal to Boris Yeltsin. So there is some concern that there may be an attempt by the military to dislodge this battalion of paratroopers and other tanks loyal to Boris Yeltsin. The
Jim, I
deputy
understand that,
mayor,
Jim,
Mr. Stankiewicz, I'm sorry, Peter.
Yeah, I understand that in the building of the Russian Federation, There's a Soviet analyst, at least on the phone with you and possibly on the phone with us, named Artem Borovik. Are we able to talk to him?
Artyom is indeed in the building. We can see if we could bring him in now. Is Artyom available? Artyom, can you hear me? I'm afraid, Peter, he cannot hear us at the moment. I think he stepped away from the telephone. But what he was telling us earlier, Peter, is that Mayor Stankiewicz, the deputy mayor, I should say, of Moscow, made an announcement about an hour ago requesting that all women and children leave the area of the Russian Federation building and also the Moscow City Hall. Obviously, he is concerned about possible military action as dusk falls here in Moscow. We should add that we sent a number of people out into the streets to see if they could see any sign of military movement, tanks moving on the center of the city, and we saw nothing, no military movement at this time.
Okay,
but
Jim,
as I said, the information comes from radio intercepts that they say that they are receiving at the Russian Federation building.
Jim, now sitting beside you is another regular Soviet commentator who we've had on these broadcasts before, and I'd like, if I may, now to turn to George Mirsky. Mr. Mirsky, thank you very much for joining us. My first question to you is, do you feel at all apprehensive in the current climate about suddenly talking to American television?
Well, what exactly do you mean apprehensive?
Well, under Mr. Gorbachev, everybody in the Soviet Union has been encouraged to speak freely. Do you feel you're able to speak just as freely about events in your country now that there's been a coup against Mr. Gorbachev?
Well, of course, if the new regime is firmly rooted and a new kind of government is set up, if the junta triumphs at the end, then I have every reason to be apprehensive about my future. As yet, you see, I'm fairly optimistic. I think that the game is not up yet. 2 hours ago, I was at that building about which we're talking now, that White House. I saw with my own eyes, and you see, I had to climb over the barricades to get there. And then I saw literally tens of thousands of people gathering, assembling for this huge rally. It was a fantastic sight, you know, tanks standing there, tanks who came to support Mr. Yeltsin. And I talked to the crewmen and shook hands with them, and I saw a lot of people queuing up, making a huge line, volunteers for detachments of self-defense. Of course, they are unarmed, but the morale of the people is tremendous, and their desire to defend freedom, you know, and to absolutely categorically reject the junta. They were
Mr. Mirsky,
all the time.
Mr. Mirsky, if there was a crackdown on the Russian Federation building, that would send a very powerful message all over the Soviet Union, wouldn't it?
Yes, I believe that is very likely that they are going to crack down, because now I think the showdown is very close. You see, they have lost a lot of time, they have lost momentum. I mean, that junta, and Yeltsin has appeared as the most powerful leader, extremely popular in the Soviet Union, a strong and resolute man, and the stand he has taken at the very beginning shows once again that he is the man to lead Russia. And this is what must put fear of God into them. I mean, those people, this crowd in the junta. So they must get rid of him, the sooner the better, because every hour that he is there, the White House increases his chances of winning this game, you know.
May I give you some thoughts which exist, at least on background, from some senior officials at the White House, and ask you to bring to bear your analytical powers to them. That Mr. Yeltsin is no match for the Committee of Eight, particularly the 5 men who mounted the coup against Mr. Gorbachev. Do you agree with that philosophy?
Well, of course, he is no match, and the forces that he can muster are no match by a long shot for those divisions that can be brought to crush him. But the main factor is that the people, the population, or at least an active minority of the population, are not prepared to take this conspiracy and this coup d'etat hands down. And as I told you, the morale is excellent, and I believe that our society is mature enough. If there is not even a general strike, but strikes powerful enough to paralyze part of the economy, and if the people everywhere express their protest, and if there are meetings and demonstrations, of course they are banned, but the government can do nothing to actually implement this ban, more and more they will be seen as losing their game. And then I believe at the end, precisely by this behavior of the people, by their determination, the coup can be foiled.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Mirsky. Thank you very much for joining us. And also thank you, Jim Laurie in Moscow. I want to move on now to our resident Soviet analyst, Bob Legvold, who is with us this morning. Bob, I think you've heard that the response, the general strike response, has been patchy, according to our Moscow Bureau. What does that tell you?
Well, I think it means that we're really at a very critical stage. It could go either way. The key thing to watch now is how many other cities join this. At this point, my information is that it involves Leningrad, Moscow, the capital of Moldavia, Kishinev. Yesterday, some actions in Sverdlovsk. That is not yet enough in order to begin creating the momentum that Georgy Mirsky was talking about. Secondary to look at is labor. He mentioned that. The coal miners are out, but the oil workers, the railway workers have not yet joined them. And the third area is, of course, what happens within the military, how they behave in the event of a crackdown. And we just can't say at this point how it's going. Within the next 48 hours, the next 72 hours, I think we can tell.
One of the interesting things, Bob Legvold, I think at least to us, we've become accustomed under Mr. Gorbachev to a free press debate. There is still something of a free debate going on in the press, though not as free as it was 2 days ago.
Well, the authorities have shut down most of the major newspapers that contained that lively debate, that lively discourse in the past. Moscow News, Ogonyok, all those other things. Izvestia, I understand, is boycotting their opportunity to publish. But at that level, the media is controlled. The Russian leadership, however, has already begun to issue broadsheets out of their own internal press mechanism. And if we use the Polish instance, there was, after martial law in 1981, there was a very rapidly spreading underground press that was quite effective. We'll have to see how they do in these circumstances.
Now, you know the Soviet mind better than most people. When you hear Mr. Bush say this morning, we stand with Mr. Gorbachev and Mr. Yeltsin, and you are presumably one of the men involved in the coup, how do you interpret it?
Well, I think they must be a little concerned that the West is so flatly rejecting everything they have done and calling them coup plotters, or as Mirsky said, the junta within the Soviet Union. That certainly indicates that the West is going to hold out, resist what they've done, condemn them. And if that becomes part of an international environment that condemns them, that has some force. But these are desperate men, and they are acting because they see this as their last chance to control the final ebbing of power away from the center and the old forms of political organization, and they're not going to be easily deterred by those developments.
Do you imagine any circumstance under which Mr. Gorbachev could come back, as Mr. Gennady Yanayev, the acting president, has said, with anything like the power he once had?
Not with not with Yanayev and his colleagues, not the way in which Yanayev is talking about it. If the coup fails decisively and quickly, then I can well imagine that almost in a celebration, Yeltsin will bring Gorbachev back, and indeed they will, in a convertible, go down the streets of Moscow. If it drags on, if it becomes a large struggle and time passes before this thing is resolved, even a failure of the coup, then I think it's unlikely that we'll see Gorbachev back in power.
Okay, Bob Legvold, thank you very much. Look forward to talking to you later in the day. I want to go back to Moscow very briefly now to Jim Laurie. This, interestingly enough, is the day on which Mr. Gorbachev, Jim, had decided to return early from his vacation to sign the Union Treaty between the Kremlin and the Soviet republics, letting some of the center's power go to the republics. Is that there now regarded as having been the last straw for the men who mounted the coup?
I think that is correct. They simply did not want to surrender this Kremlin power to the republics, and they felt that Mr. Gorbachev had gone too far. I'd like to add, Peter, that in the last 10 minutes we've had some communication, our office staff here, with the personal household staff of Mr. Gorbachev in the town of Faros, which is about 30 miles, 20 miles, that is, from Yalta in the Crimea. We were told the following. Mr. Gorbachev is in place with his wife Raisa under house arrest at his dacha. They had lunch today. His security staff, 9 people in all, had been detained and taken away from the dacha. His personal airplane and helicopter were grounded, and the KGB has moved in around that area, blocking off all roads, and a patrol boat is stationed just off the coast, overlooking his dacha. So a fair amount of detail there that Mr. Gorbachev is well, but in confinement at his dacha in the Crimea. Apparently, according to this report, there was an attempt yesterday by the local KGB authorities in Yalta to free Mr. Gorbachev. And this may have resulted in those reports we heard earlier that Mr. Gorbachev had left the dacha. But we are told by his household staff that that attempt failed, and he is still under house arrest, being taken care of in his dacha in the Crimea.
Okay,
Peter?
Jim, thanks very much. I commend you and our Soviet staff there because, as you heard in Mr. Bush's news conference, the President, nor Boris Yeltsin, nor the British Prime Minister John Major have been able to get through to Mr. Gorbachev at all, at least through to the House staff now saying that he is still on the Crimean Peninsula in the Black Sea at his summer resort. He was to have returned to Moscow today. There is some reporting today that one of the coup leaders, the military commander General Yazov, had gone to see Mr. Gorbachev in the Crimea just a couple of days ago. There were no details at all of what they may have discussed. Let us go now briefly to the White House for a concluding comment from our White House correspondent, Brit Hume. Brit, as you've listened to the President over the last 24 hours, at least as I've listened to him, I think he's getting sharper with these coup leaders than he certainly started off.
Well, that's true, Peter. He started off with characteristic caution and has strengthened the language. Perhaps more importantly are the principles that he set down in writing yesterday afternoon and that he has elaborated upon a bit today. We now know also how he is handling this business of Mr. Strauss as the ambassador, but not the man who recognizes the junta, as the other person there called it. So I think what you're seeing is policy being adapted and made up, so to speak, as they go along here, and the president positioning himself so that he can react to events and will not have said anything or done anything that will glue his feet to the floor on almost any issue.
Brit, help me here because I see one possible embarrassment for the Bush administration. The president says that his new ambassador to the Soviet Union, Bob Strauss, is going to go there, but he's not going to present his credentials to these coup leaders. What happens if the coup leaders, Gennady Ganayev, the acting president, summon Mr. Strauss to come and see him? Does he intend to refuse?
Well, I don't think they know that yet. I think that as the president refused, you'll recall, to deal with hypothetical questions about just exactly who Mr. Strauss might see and what would happen if some sort of eventuality occurred. My sense is that Strauss's mission is going to be quite brief, and that the likelihood would be, at least at the outset, that he would not agree to go there, at least in any formal sense as an ambassador. Now, he might go on an information gathering, fact gathering trip, and that's how it would be passed off. These kinds of nuances and distinctions of diplomacy do become important, I think, at such times, because that is how you adapt your policy to circumstances without appearing to violate what you already said. I'm sure that if there was going to be information conveyed, that Mr. Strauss would find a way to get it and would do it without presenting himself in such a way as to recognize the government.
Okay,
that would be his challenge.
Thanks very much, Brit Hume at the White House. A final question to Bob Zelnick over at the Pentagon. Bob, they've been monitoring the situation there. Any feel at all for whether or not the Soviet military is cohesive in this situation, or whether there are any splits developing?
Peter, the sense over here now is that the elite units of the police, the KGB, and the regular army remain loyal, and that supporters
remain loyal to whom, Bob?
Remain loyal to those who conducted the coup,
right.
And that those who have declared themselves in favor of Boris Yeltsin remain isolated individuals and units. The assessment of senior administration officials, Peter, is that the coup leaders control enough of the military to defeat Boris Yeltsin and other civil unrest throughout the country and maintain themselves in power for at least a year, despite all the problems they're going to face, and that the United States has very, very little leverage over the development of internal Soviet affairs. And I think that's why President Bush was so short on specific actions against the Soviet Union, because I don't think anyone wants to jeopardize the progress that was made under Gorbachev.
Okay, Bob Zelnick at the Pentagon, thank you very much. Just before we leave, take another look at the demonstration in Moscow today, where Boris Yeltsin and the former Soviet Foreign Minister Edward Shevardnadze, long familiar to Americans, spoke to the crowd and called on about 150,000 people there to defy the coup leaders. This is not the kind of massive demonstration we have seen in Moscow before, but it is a very clear indication to those of us in the rest of the world that some things in the Soviet Union have changed, at least for the moment, definitively. In previous occasions when Soviet leaders have been replaced, there would have been no chance whatsoever, certainly not even any thought of people coming out into the streets to demonstrate their antipathy to change, and that was the case in Moscow and in Leningrad and in some of the Soviet republics earlier today. We'll keep you up to date as events continue throughout the day. President Bush saying at his news conference a short while ago, the United States stands with Mr. Gorbachev and with Mr. Yeltsin. The president still ordering that these coup leaders reverse the situation and return the Soviet Union to constitutional government. We'll see what's happened. I'm Peter Jennings in New York.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
Germac new shampoo. I've got Germac bounce back beautiful hair. New Germac bounce back beautiful hair.
Your hair can't be this beautiful unless it's strong. Germac's new shampoos and conditioners bring new strength to your hair. Strength to bounce back beautiful.
I've got Germac bounce back beautiful hair. New Germac bounce back beautiful hair.
Okay, so you need a new look, but you don't want to pay an arm and a leg. Well, you need Perry. We've got the top brands, and they're discounted 15 to 25% every day.
Perry's got cool looks at hot prices. Almay Cosmetics discounted 35% off manufacturer's retail price at Perry drugstores.
So if you need help, look for me. I know cosmetics and how to help you look good. Perry drugstores. Come talk to us. We're there when you need us.
It's simple, Vern. Those ABC warehouse folks can't be running all over town to see who's got the lowest prices. So they guarantee their low prices for life. Not just Thursday, the 2nd, or Friday, the 10th. And if the price tag isn't low enough, ABC will lower it, and you'll pay even less. And that's what that or less means. They'll even give you $1,000 if they can't beat your best deal. It's as simple as ABC. Know what I mean?
Now at ABC Warehouse, get this Avante Cube refrigerator for only $83 or less.
A murder from the past creates a mystery in the present.
Someone wants to kill me.
In Dead Again, coming August 23rd to select theaters, Paramount Pictures and Norwegian Cruise Line invite you and a guest to solve your very own mystery out on the open seas for 4 luxurious days. To enter, send your name and address to this address, and you may be selected as a winner in the Dead Again Murder Mystery Cruise Contest.
Please, always be careful at work or at home. Any product has the potential to injure you. If you're injured, don't assume accidents just happen or that it was your fault. You may be entitled to money damages for medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering. I'm attorney Sam Bernstein. Call me now for your free phone consultation.
Attorney Sam Bernstein. Free phone consultation. Free hospital and home visits. Right now, dial 1-800-CALL-SAM.
What do you get when Kohl's opens 2 new stores in Detroit during back-to-school time? A, savings on health techs. B, savings on Oshkosh Bagage. C, savings on Buster Brown. What else can you save on? A, Levi's for the family. B, all Nike shoes. C, all Mrs. and Junior Cherokee sportswear. To take advantage of these great savings, you have to A, go to one of our 2 new stores in Detroit. B, go to any of our 10 Detroit locations. C, look in Kohl's 64-page grand opening catalog. The answer to all of the above is all of the above. Kohl's, your back-to-school and grand opening headquarters.
If you're looking for a new career opportunity, listen to this. There's never been a better time to be a computer repair technician like me. We're really in demand and we make good money. The National Education Center is now offering a course to train you as a computer repair technician. Call now for a copy of this brochure. This could be your chance of a lifetime.
For a brochure, call 1-800-722-7337. That's 1-800-722-7337.
It's Farmer Jack's savings time.
Look for this week's Farmer Jack circular in your mail and save on assorted Frito-Lay Doritos. Big 14 to 15 ounce bag, $1.69. Master Blend coffee, auto drip or regular, 34.5 ounce can, only $4.99. And Tide liquid detergent, 64 ounce bottle, now $3.99.
Ragu introduces Chicken Tonight Simmer Sauces, and suddenly everybody's saying,
I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
Chicken tonight.
Choose from 6 new sauces. Each one's made with real vegetables and herbs, so you can make dishes like country French chicken and chicken cacciatore. Just brown the chicken, simmer, and serve.
I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
New Chicken Tonight simmer sauces from Ragu.
Chicken tonight.
When was the last time you had your eyes examined?
Oh, about a year and a half ago.
Can't recall.
Never.
Well, now's the time, because it's National Eye Exam Month at Sears, and we're paying for your exam.
Does this mean I need bifocals?
Come in for an exam by one of the independent doctors of optometry at Sears, and we'll deduct the cost of your exam from any purchase of eyeglasses.
Good for reading through now?
Now that's an offer too good to miss, so call for your appointment today at Sears Optical.
This message is for anyone who has suffered an injury, any kind of injury. The Injury Action Line is here to serve you, to give you the straight answers about your legal rights. The call is free, the consultation is free, and there's never an attorney's fee until you collect for your injury. Don't delay. There's no obligation. We're here to serve you. Call the Injury Action Line at 1-800-553-HELP. That's 1-800-553-HELP. Do it now.
Come to the fountain, quench your thirst for the way you live today. Drink from the cooler, freshen up at home, at work or play. Abs of pure spring water when you're thirsting for something better. So let it rain, let it pour for the ones you love. It's Abs pure, naturally Abs pure. Yes, it is. The clean drink, Abs pure.
Call 458-SLIM right now. MD Diet Control is standing by to help you lose weight. And Marie Williams lost 52 pounds and feels great. Now you can lose up to 20 pounds for only $29. Call MD Diet Control now. 458-SLIM. 458-SLIM.
Save up to 75% on everything at House of Blinds and More.
Remember, if we can't beat your best deal, your blinds are free.
Call House of Blinds and More at 357-4710.
Blueberry pie, still one of the toughest denture stains. We baked pearls made of denture material in this pie to prove just how effectively Efferdent removes stains. Efferdent's formula is so powerful, it can tackle the toughest, most stubborn stains, even in between. Nothing stronger than Efferdent. That's why it's the #1 denture cleanser in America. Efferdent, stronger than stains.
Cool Whip Light with topping. The luscious taste of whipped cream with 1/2 the fat and only 8 calories per serving.
Cool Whip Light.
I soak my dentures and use mouthwash, but sometimes I use toothpaste and mouthwash, but sometimes
Wait, all you need is denture cream. In just 90 seconds, denture cream gets dentures nearly twice as clean. Plus, it has minty mouthwash ingredients to freshen dentures. All you need is denture.
Legal problems are problems we'd all like to avoid. But if you're injured, you may face medical expenses, income loss, and the disruption of your life. With so many lawyers claiming they can help you, how do you choose wisely? How do you know you'll get someone who can get you the money you deserve? At the law offices of Lee Steinberg, we limit our practice to helping victims of injuries. Call Lee free and ask the tough questions. You'll get straight answers, because at the law offices of Lee Steinberg, we're here to help.
Lena of Troy announces the sale you can't afford to miss. Now's a fabulous opportunity for you to save 25 to 50% off selected designer wear. It's not often you can purchase the best at these low prices. Come early for the choices of the choice. Sizes 4 to 24.5 in a variety of lengths. This sale is for a limited time only. That's Lena of Troy's sale you can't afford to miss, where you save 25 to 50% off on East Long Lake Road, just east of Rochester Road, Troy.
Are you the victim of a slip and fall, auto or motorcycle accident, or any accidental injury? Frustrated trying to collect lost wages, medical bills, and pain and suffering benefits from an insurance company who doesn't care about you? Northland Legal Center attorneys have years of experience collecting benefits for injured people like you. Call 356-1300. That's 356-1300 for a free consultation. 356-1300. Harvey Kavinsky, attorney. 28 years experience collecting benefits for injured people.
Okay, so you need a new look, but you don't want to pay an arm and a leg. Well, you need Perry. We've got the top brands, and they're discounted 15 to 25% every day.
Now at Perry, pay only $2.79 after mail-in rebate for any shade of Clairol Nice and Easy hair color, and color yourself beautiful.
So if you need help, look for me. I know cosmetics and how to help you look good. Perry Drugstores, come talk to us. We're there when you need us.
Recently, Healthline magazine compared 16 popular diets. And you know what? Only Nutrisystem got a perfect score. Not Jenny Craig, not Weight Watchers. Only Nutrisystem. What does that mean to you? This is what it means. Now pay for a 10-pound program and lose the rest for free at Nutrisystem. Call 1-800-321-THIN.
Only one is the original.
The Country Peddler Show, this weekend at the Washtenaw County Fairgrounds.
See a juried showcase of American tradition and talent.
Meet many professional folk artisans and country merchants selling and sometimes demonstrating their craft.
The Country Peddler Show at the Washtenaw County Fairgrounds, exit 175 off I-94.
This Friday, 5 to 9, Saturday, 9 to 5, Sunday, 11 to 4. Adults, $4, children 10 and under, $1.50.
The original Country Peddler Show.
This weekend, come meet the artists and purchase the heirlooms of the future.
Here are great gift ideas from Jovan Musk, America's most preferred musk. Jovan Musk for men and women, what sexy is. And new white musk, light and delicate, easygoing. With Mama Libman's Wonder Mop, your hands never touch water. Just slide its special wringer sleeve down and twist. Libman, better brooms, brushes, and mops.
Dynatrim, the delicious weight loss plan complete with nutritional support from the makers of Centrum. Only Dynatrim lets you shake it, freeze it, or mousse it. Try Dynatrim and lose yourself in the taste.
Geritol Complete, the multivitamin with all the vitamins you need, plus more iron and beta-carotene than any other brand. Geritol Complete, for the best years of your life.
Or use maximum strength Oragel and start relieving the pain immediately.
Oragel, available in maximum strength gel and liquid.
New Bird's Eye salads are made with Bird's Eye vegetables. Most salad mixes use dried vegetables. Naturally, we blow them away. Salads, new from Bird's Eye, the pickiest people in the field.
Tonight, our desperate need to clean up the air and the Bush plan that would have free enterprise do it. Watch Peter Jennings on ABC's World News tonight.
Has your sex life gone downhill since marriage? Results of a national survey on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Oprah, weekdays at 4 on 7.
This week, across the land, from north to south, from big cities to small towns to your community, dreams are coming true. People are heading to New York Carpet World where everything's on sale, getting the carpet they want now. They're getting sensational savings to 65%. Unlimited selection, every carpet, vinyl floor, area rug, carpet remnant, even padding and labor. Don't miss it. Save big on the carpet you want while everything's on sale. Shop by Wednesday at New York Carpet World.
People, we've got to describe the indescribable taste of Werner's. Ideas, please.
He's the writer. The boss says let's have a contest to describe Werner's. Winner gets a new Corvette.
I've got it. It's Zippy.
Zesty. Refreshingly dipped. You don't get a dog, you can bark Zippy. Not the dog idea again.
No, we get an announcer.
That's right. You could win a Chevrolet Corvette in the Great Describe the indescribable taste of Werner's sweepstakes. Details wherever Werner's is sold.
The original Werner's, now with a great new look.
Why are so many old men getting involved with young women next, Donnie?
Life without cholesterol. I mean, how much lettuce can one man endure? Give up the best things in life. What's left?
New Miracle Whip cholesterol-free dressing. Same tangy zip as Miracle Whip and absolutely no cholesterol. So you get all the taste and none of the cholesterol.
I do?
New Miracle Whip cholesterol-free. Now the best things in life are cholesterol-free.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you for real?
Yeah. You interviewed 7 babysitters?
Just wait. I bet you could write a book.
7?
Well, I wouldn't leave him with just anybody.
No way.
Jamie, what are you doing with that peanut butter? Running for president. Cute.
You're so choosy about sitters, and you'll give him that.
Guys, I grew up on this. Deprived child. Would you stop? Smell Jeff. Jeff smells more like fresh roasted peanuts.
Yeah.
It's gonna taste more like them too, right? It tastes more like them.
Peanuttier?
Yeah. Amazing. Jamie Honey here.
So tell me, how do you interview babysitters?
Very carefully.
For more fresh roasted peanut taste, choosy moms choose Jif.
New Glass Plus now has more cleaners to clean faster and better on glass or anything else. Just thought you'd like to know. New Glass Plus cleans glass, plus a whole lot more.
Today's Monday, coming off a rough weekend. Saturday, I painted the den and came up aching, so I took aspirin. Sunday, I cleaned the attic. More aches, more aspirin.
I take aspirin often when I need relief, and my aspirin's Bufferin.
Like Bayer, Bufferin contains strong 100% aspirin.
So I get that aspirin relief I want.
And Bufferin has buffers to help protect against stomach upset plain aspirin can cause. Bufferin, if you take aspirin more than once a week.
Hello. There are many coaching legends in the world of sports. Newt Rockne, Casey Stengel, and my hero, Hayden Fox. Now, you may know him simply as Coach. He's my kind of guy. He's funny, he's sweet, and he's the object of every woman's fantasy. Except my woman. She's already found the man of her dreams. So, watch me and Rosie, then stick around for Craig T. Nelson as coach. Tuesdays. I'm so proud.
We put the lime juice in the Skittle, we are pleased to reveal. We put the orange juice in Skittles to give them more appeal. I say Skittles, I would like to introduce, I say Skittles. Now there's real fruit juice. We put the grape juice in the Skittle and the strawberry too. And the juice of the lemon, so you have yourself a few. Real fruit juice in Skittles, bite-sized candy Skittles. Taste the rainbow of fruit flavors, woo.
Welcome the Surfettes and my family, the Whittingtons, singing our commercial for Surf Detergent. Dips Toby dead, working hard all day. They get dirty, they get sweaty, makes those clothes smell real bad. Dirt, sweat, and odors, then it's laundry time again. Surf saves the day. Surf is a hero. It removes dirt and odor, so clothes smell clean each day. Everybody, Surf is a hero.
If you're a Surf family, call 1-800-451-6679.
Aquafresh case history number 75.
No, I don't know much about fluoride, but I do know that I've never had a cavity in my whole life. I'm not an expert on plaque either, but my dentist says that I don't have to worry about my gums. My gums are healthy. I've been brushing with Aquafresh since I was a kid.
Triple Protection Aquafresh. It does more than fight cavities. It freshens breath and helps remove plaque for healthier gums in one complete toothpaste.
Aquafresh, look at the results.
Aquafresh, more than cavity protection, triple protection.
If your doctor has recommended fiber laxatives and you like the results, but you don't like those glasses of thick liquid, now there's FiberCon. Concentrated fiber action in easy-to-swallow tablets. Ask your doctor about FiberCon.
Monday.
We're dealing with the plague.
How contagious is it?
It has a fatality rate of 80%.
There's only one cure for the deadly disease, MacGyver. Then, Sean Penn, Martin Sheen, a daring escape to the free world.
Radar on a possible hijack.
Feel free! Escape to freedom, Monday.
I believe in breastfeeding my baby, but I know I can't always breastfeed, so I believe in the Playtex nurser. Because it's a nursing method most like breastfeeding. See, the collapsible bottle and natural-shaped nipple mean less air in Jamie's tummy, less gas, less spitting up, and better than glass bottles, they're pre-sterilized. Disposable. You can believe in the Playtex nurser. It's most like breastfeeding.
Count on Playtex disposable bottles, the strongest you can buy.
In Home After Home, people are throwing out cleaners they don't need, because all they need is Lysol Direct. Direct cleans everything without rinsing, so people are making room for one cleaner that cleans everything. Lysol Direct.
We're here to gently remind you that you can depend on your mom.
Phillips Milk of Magnesia, the laxative for dependable overnight relief that contains no harsh irritants.
So it's gentle.
Nobody treats you better than Phillips Milk of Magnesia.
Mom knows best. Leave it to Mom.
Life doesn't stand still for a headache. That's why you need Maximum Strength Anacin 3. Why 3? Because it's aspirin-free, sodium-free, caffeine-free. Maximum Strength Anacin 3. The right relief for the way we live today.
Dog foods come, dog foods go. But there's still no better food for keeping your dog fit and healthy than these old favorites. Alpo Canned and Alpo Dry. After 50 years, nobody beats Alpo.
When she was 6, after a few scrapes and tumbles, her dad taught her how to ride a two-wheeler. When she was 9, he helped her build a telescope that could see the moons of Jupiter. When she was 14, after a lot of giggling and giving up, her mom finally taught her how to hit a wicked two-handed backhand. All through her growing up, Susie's parents taught her well. But for all their love and attention, there was one lesson left untaught. Susie's parents never taught her about drugs. They never told her that drugs maim, drugs kill. So Susie learned one final lesson on her own. When you don't say no to your kids about drugs, it's the same as saying yes.
Can your temper be killing you? On the next home show, learn how anger can hurt your heart.
And Richard Simmons is going to show you some heart-healthy recipes. And we'll show you how to give your pets a dental checkup.
Good.
I'm Lisa Gibbons.
And I'm Rob Weller. Join us with Fido here at home.
Has your sex life gone downhill since marriage? Results of a national survey on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Oprah, weekdays at 4 on 7.
Watch this. When you get your kid a McDonald's Happy Meal, he gets a Lego motion toy with moving parts, like this wind whirler. There are 2 sets each week, and with both, he can build something bigger. There are 8 Lego sets in all, and the more sets he collects, the bigger toy he can build. And if you're lucky, they'll even let you play.
Go for it. What's that, Dad?
I don't know, but I built it, and I love it.
Lego Motion Happy Meal at McDonald's.
At Arbor, you'll find special Arbor values every day of every week, every time you turn around. Stock up on 6-packs of regular or Diet 7-Up or Cherry 7-Up, only $1.29. Everywhere you look, regular or Diet Sunkissed or Diet Right, still just $1.29. And at every turn, Canada Dry Ginger Ale or RC Cola, Arbor priced at, yup, just $1.29. Now it's your turn to save at Arbor with special Arbor values every time you turn around. Arbor, the drugstore with a difference.
Take a quiz on your body tonight at 6 on 7.
Put a little love in your heart.
For a taste you'll love with all your heart, close your eyes and taste this. Introducing Promise Extra Light Spread. With half the saturated fat, salt, and calories of regular margarine. Without cholesterol, without sacrificing taste. So enjoy it with a passion. New Promise Extra Light.
What do your legs feel like 2 days after you shave? 3 days after you shave? 5 days after? Neat and new Neat Roll-On gets rid of bristles and stubble for up to 5 days because Neat works below the surface. So avoid this. Get touchable legs longer with Neat or new Neat Roll-On.
Presenting clothes so sinfully soft your family will love to put it on. This is Advanced Fab Detergent Plus Fabric Softener for a softness so comfortable. So put it on with Fab.
This chandelier is being dipped in pancake batter and dried to prove that Advanced Palmolive Automatic cleans the toughest stuck-on foods in one wash without powder residue. Try Palmolive Automatic. Once is all it takes.
Poor Cinderella can't go to the ball. She's dressed in a droopy diaper that feels all wet. Abracadabra, Cinderella. Kleenex Huggies Super Trim Diapers will sweep you off your feet. Only Huggies has the blue inner layer that helps funnel wetness into the padding and holds it away for unbeatable dryness, plus a softly padded waistband. Ah, Cinderella's wearing Huggies now, and she's having a ball. Huggies, happily ever after.
Tone up your body with exercise. Tone up your skin with tone.
I'm toning up. I'm toning up from my head to my toes. I'm toning up. I'm toning up. Now my skin's gonna glow. I'm toning up. I'm toning up, looking good. I'm toning up.
Tone, the skincare bar with cocoa butter. It cleans, moisturizes, and conditions for healthy-looking skin.
I'm toning up. I'm toning up. Now my skin's gonna glow.
Tone up with Tone, now in cream color.
Mom, we're thirsty. Mom, I'm thirsty.
Hey, Mom, what you got to drink?
Thirsty kids need Thursday. Gatorade.
Gatorade is thirsty.
Kids get thirsty when they play because they sweat away fluids and minerals. Gatorade Thirst Quencher helps put them back fast. And it's low in sugar. So next time they say,
Mom, I sure am thirsty.
give them what they're thirsty for.
Gatorade is thirsty for kids with the body thirst.
Gerber presents the first peach your baby will ever eat. A 100% natural baby food so smooth, it's just for starters. First Foods fruits and vegetables, made extra smooth for the first few weeks of eating vegetables and fruits. No artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. No added salt or sugar. No modified food starch. It's pure and simple. First Foods fruits and vegetables are smooth, natural, and of course, from Gerber.
Clear as water. Clean and Clear conditioner. Most conditioners appear greasy and heavy in water. What you can't see is what laboratory research proves. Clean and Clear leaves less to weigh hair down. Fabulous body. Clean and Clear conditioner from Revlon.
With arthritis, there's pain. And then there's pain. For relief, there's aspirin. And then there's Anacin. The Anacin aspirin formula has more medicine than regular aspirin.
Now that's relief.
Anacin.
My family jumps from city to city. We also have many children, which is why quality, comfort, Clarion, and sleep hotels are perfect. Because here, kids 18 and under stay for free. Hey, kids, stop jumping on the beds.
Kids 18 and under stay free when you call 800-221-2222.
Say goodbye to pad days. Protection this comfortable is the better way.
Monday is a heavy day. Friday is a light day.
On any kind of day, Tampax tampons protect the better way, more comfortably than pads any day. The unique Tampax design expands to your body's natural shape. For protection no tampon design can beat, comfort no pad can match.
So say goodbye to pad days. Tampax tampons are the better way any day.
Oh, what people do to clean tough stains from under the rim. 'Cause for some bowl cleaners, that's a tough reach. But not for Lysol toilet bowl cleaner. Its angle neck easily goes under the rim to wipe out tough stains and germs. So look, all you need is Lysol toilet bowl cleaner. The heavyweight with a powerful new angle on cleaning.
Listen, that's the sound of cloth. Chubb's baby wipes have more cloth than any of these brands. They're mostly paper fibers. And this wipe isn't as thick, soft, or strong as Chubb's. For gentle cleaning, only Chubb's cloth will touch my baby's skin. When what you want is cloth, what you want is Chubb's.
This is me before my first perm and after. It didn't take. Me before my second perm. It took 8 months to grow out. Me before my third perm. Precisely Right by Ogilvy. Risky? Nah. It's got automatic shut-off timing, so Precisely Right can over-perm. This is me with a Precisely Right home perm. So, somebody take our picture.
When two hearts get a second chance, what more could anyone expect?
Travis, you all right?
Why is this happening to me? It's a form of brain tumor. I've got a brain tumor? If we don't operate, you will die.
What's the verdict, doctor? You're pregnant.
What about Barbara? No one is to know.
I do need to speak to you.
I think it would be best if maybe we cool it for a while.
I'd like to have an abortion.
I want to go out on my feet. I've given you my answer. No surgery.
All my children, weekdays.
They're coming. New improved Dow bathroom cleaner with scrubbing bubbles. It's stronger, 50% stronger. We work even harder, so you don't have to.
butter starts like this, but can end up like this. So now there's all-natural Butter Buds. It has the same flavor as this without all the fat and cholesterol. Delicious. New Butter Buds, a better butter.
Some people perspire.
We sweat.
You need Arid XX protection with the new non-whitening cleaner formula. It's the only leading solid that doesn't leave a white, flaky mess.
Arid XX helps keep us extra.
Extra dry.
You're my favorite under the sun. You're the real thing. You're the one. Can't beat it. Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the feeling.
One life to live will continue in a moment.
She soon returns to the world of TV mystery. Tomorrow, Jacqueline Smith joins us, and songstress Natalie Cole will be here on Good Morning America tomorrow.
Has your sex life gone downhill since marriage? Results of a national survey on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Oprah, weekdays at 4 on 7. The excitement. The energy. The Motown sound. The past comes alive with Martha and the Vandellas, the Marvelettes, Mary Wells, the Contours, and more. The Motown Magic is on Kelly and Company, live Tuesday morning at 9 on 7.
These days, we're being a lot more careful about our health. That's why my family drinks Absol Pure natural artesian spring water. No salt, no caffeine, no artificial anything. Just clean, natural refreshment. So if you're serious about good health and great taste, the only natural choice is Absol Pure, the clean drink, in the home or at the office.
Ask about our special introductory offer, Absopure, the clean drink.
Enslaved Wives on the next Sally Jesse Raphael.
This is really different. Very different. There's this facial cleanser called Daily Cleanser. Daily Cleanser from Buff Puff. And it's really special because it's got these funny kind of little beads. They're little capsule things with a conditioner in them. These things, they're microbeads. Microbeads with moisturizers. So when you wash your face, they burst and pop. So they actually help condition your skin while you clean. And... ooh, I mean, it feels soft.
Daily Cleanser, the facial cleanser from Buff Puff in cream or gel.
You want to keep your new carpet looking new, but what about the traffic around your home? And what about those unexpected little snags?
What?
That's why DuPont created Certified Stain Master Carpet to survive stains and traffic and help keep its new looks. Remember, it's not a Stain Master carpet if it doesn't say DuPont.
Okay. 1, 2, 3 for you. 1, 2, 3. Don't I get a marshmallow? Kix doesn't have marshmallows. 1, 2. No purple ones? No purple ones. Oh,
what Kix has is a corn crunch that kids like. And Kix is low in sugar. That's what moms like.
For me. There is 1 for
Kix,
you.
kid tested, mother approved.
Steal a moment to baby yourself with soothing Johnson's baby powder.
Baby soft, baby smooth, baby fresh, ooh, baby you.
Johnson's baby powder, oil, and lotion. Go on and baby yourself with Johnson's.
Ooh, baby you.
From Johnson & Johnson.
Does ABC have the best faces this fall?
Yeah.
Do yeah.
Come in. Yeah. What's the show about? Half hour.
Yeah.
Coming this fall.
Here you're cooking, that's Crisco's place. Here you're eating, there's no oily taste. Here it is, Here's Crisco cooking up fries, and because most of it comes back, there's no oily taste.
Here it isn't, no oily taste, it's true, so your cooking comes through. Here it is, here it isn't, here it is.
Keep that great shower fresh feeling all day with Ban Solid. Ban has a curved for comfort shape. Ban glides on creamy smooth. Ban Solid gives you a shower fresh feeling that lasts all day.
Keep that shower fresh feeling all day.
Aquafresh case history, 75.
I don't know much about fluoride, but I do know that I've never had a cavity in my whole life. I'm not an expert on plaque either, but my dentist says that my gums are healthy. I've been brushing with Aquafresh since I was a kid.
Aquafresh, more than cavity protection, triple protection.
When it's late and your productivity is falling off, you can splash a little water on your face, or better yet, revive with Vivarin. Government-appointed experts say it's safe and works, and all you need is 1 glass of water. So revive with Vivarin.
Look what just happened to Pine Sol Liquid. It's new, with a new broad spectrum formula for a bigger, better power to clean.
Broad spectrum power, new Pine Sol.
A new Pine Sol with broader cleaning power. 4 detergents.
New Pine Sol.
Broader disinfecting power. Kills more germs.
Broad spectrum power.
Even broader freshening power. Get new broad spectrum Pine Sol for a better clean.
New Pine Sol.
Monday.
We're dealing with the plague.
How contagious is it?
It has a fatality rate of 80%.
There's only one cure for the deadly disease, MacGyver. Then, Sean Penn, Martin Sheen, a daring escape to the free world.
Radar on a possible hijack.
Feel free.
Escape to freedom, Monday.
Well, I'm stuck on you. I want you to know. Whatever you do, wherever you go, well, I'll be there to guard you, to care for you.
Nothing sticks like Band-Aid brand's unique adhesive, so nothing protects better against dirt and germs. That's protection that sticks with you from Johnson & Johnson.
You know I'm stuck on you.
I'm going to serve the Pomeroys the same pate I had left over from the Phillips. Imagine if they ever found out. But thanks to my Ziploc storage bags, they'll never know.
Put your trust in a Ziploc bag.
Mitchum antiperspirant is so effective, you could even skip a day. If you wanted to. Dermatologist tested Mitchum.
I won't wear anything without Cross Your Heart, because Cross Your Heart has crisscross shaping, so I always look better, whatever I wear.
Playtex Cross Your Heart bra.
Don't wear anything without Cross Your Heart.
From Playtex.
The fit that makes the fashion.
New Bird's Eye salads are made with Bird's Eye vegetables. Most salad mixes use dried vegetables. Naturally, we blow them away. Salads, new from Bird's Eye, the pickiest people in the field.
This is John Kelly. Is your husband a disaster in the kitchen, but you'd like to see him improve? Call us now at 298-6161. 298-6161.
Can your temper be killing you? On the next home show, learn how anger can hurt your heart.
And Richard Simmons is going to show you some heart-healthy recipes. And we'll show you how to give your pets a dental checkup.
Good.
I'm Lisa Gibbons.
And I'm Rob Weller. Join us with Fido here at home.
An ABC News Brief. Now from New York, Richard Threlkeld.
Good afternoon. President Bush said today he had known for some time that diplomat Felix Bloch was under investigation for spying. The president called it a very serious matter. Bloch was seen leaving his New York home today, the first time he's appeared since ABC News reported the story on Friday. In Japan today, Prime Minister Uno said he will resign because of his party's defeat in yesterday's parliamentary elections. And that's News Brief.
These two women each lost 120 pounds at Quick Weight Loss Centers and ate real food. Save 50% plus 10% more at Quick Weight Loss. Call 557-SLIM.
Tonight on Channel 7 Action News, 5 p.m. The fireworks may just be starting. We'll show you how Representative John Conyers could be Coleman Young's toughest challenge yet in the race for mayor. Also, find out if former Supreme Diana Ross will take it off to appear in an upcoming film. Then at 6, we'll bring you the latest live update on the Michigan train derailment that has caused thousands to flee from toxic fumes. And learn if you can lower your cholesterol too much as science editor Jerry Hodak begins his close-up report on common myths about your body. Tonight on Action News at 5 and 6.
Oh.
Nothing quenches your thirst like the light, clean citrus taste of Squirt. Give your thirst a squirt.
Is there sex after marriage on the next Oprah Winfrey Show?
It's okay. I'm not about to let cramps get in the way of a great movie. But I don't take aspirin or Tylenol anymore. I take Advil. You see, Advil contains a medicine that was once available only by prescription. It stops cramps right where they start. Today, doctors recommend Advil for cramps more than all other non-prescription pain relievers combined. And Advil is gentler to my stomach than aspirin. Come on, let's get some good seats. Advil, tablets and caplets. Advanced medicine for pain.
Look what just happened to Pine Sol Liquid. It's new with a new broad spectrum formula for a bigger, better power to clean.
Broad spectrum power, new Pine Sol.
A new Pine Sol with broader cleaning power. 4 detergents.
New Pine Sol.
Broader disinfecting power. Kills more germs.
Broad spectrum power.
Even broader freshening power. Get new broad spectrum Pine Sol for a better clean.
New Pine Sol.
Does she really? But the color is so natural looking.
That's why I use Miss Clairol.
When hairdressers want to make women beautiful, they reach for the colors of Miss Clairol more often than any other.
Could you make me a blonde like that?
Superb color, time after time. Maybe that's why so many hairdressers trust the colors of Miss Clairol.
Mommy, it's beautiful.
So, for beautiful hair, gorgeous color, shouldn't you trust Miss Clairol?
What do your legs feel like 2 days after you shave? 3 days after you shave? 5 days after? Neat and new Neat Roll-On gets rid of bristles and stubble for up to 5 days because Neat works below the surface. So avoid this. Get touchable legs longer with Neat or new Neat Roll-On.
Mom, we're thirsty. Mom, I'm thirsty.
Hey, Mom, what you got to drink?
Thirsty kids need Thursday. Gatorade.
Gatorade is thirsty.
Kids get thirsty when they play because they sweat away fluids and minerals. Gatorade Thirst Quencher helps put them back fast. And it's low in sugar. So next time they say,
Mom, I sure am thirsty.
give them what they're thirsty for.
Gatorade is thirsty for kids deep down body thirst.
My dentist says, brush properly, brush properly. Finally, he's given me the Prevent toothbrush. When your thumb goes here, Prevent is automatically positioned to remove plaque at the gum line, where it counts most.
Prevent. Proper brushing is built right in.
The show must go on, even when you have your period. That's why you need Sure and Natural, the only Thin Maxi with a unique thin layer of super absorbents to protect you. Sure and Natural, because life doesn't stop for your period.
Hi, may I help you?
Sure, I'll have a cheeseburger, man.
cheeseburger macaroni. That's our specialty.
Don't know what to do with hamburger? Try Hamburger Helper Cheeseburger Macaroni. It'll turn plain hamburger into a hearty, delicious meal that'll please your coolest customer.
Hamburger helper helped her.
Hey, that was great, man. Give me 5. Would you settle for 4?
Make a great meal.
Phew! The foot odor in this family, it knocks me out from across the room.
Get Odor Eaters. Odor Eaters are cushiony insoles blended with microscopic activated charcoal, world's most powerful odor destroyer, to eat up and destroy the worst foot odor. Only Odor Eaters has it. Dr. Scholl's doesn't.
Foot odor's gone.
Nothing destroys foot odor like Odor Eaters.
And for hot, sweaty feet, get new Odor Eaters foot powder. Stops wetness all day.
Keep that great shower fresh feeling all day with Ban Solid. Ban has a curve for comfort shape. Ban glides on creamy smooth. Ban Solid gives you a shower fresh feeling that lasts all day.
Keep that shower fresh feeling all day.
Tastes too good.
Tastes too good to be, but it's not.
Tastes too good to be, you know.
Tastes too good to be, you know what?
I don't believe it.
Tastes too good to be, but it's true. Tastes too good to be good for you.
Nah.
Much too good to be. Leave it to Louis Rich to be.
No way.
Way too good to be salt fat free.
Louis Rich oven roasted turkey breast.
Tastes too good to be 97% fat free.
Tastes too good.
Introducing Fact Plus Home Pregnancy Test. Now, a sign like this or a sign like this tells you unmistakably if you'll need a sign like this. New Fact Plus. Easy to read, so you know for sure.
My dentist says, brush properly, brush properly. Finally, he's given me the Prevent toothbrush. When your thumb goes here, Prevent is automatically positioned to remove plaque at the gum line, where it counts most.
Prevent. Proper brushing is built right in.
Every day, cats perform incredible balancing acts. To keep them performing at their peak every day demands an incredibly well-balanced cat food. Fancy Feast. Fancy Feast gourmet cat food perfectly balances great gourmet taste with concentrated nutrition essential to your cat's good health. Give your cat a lifetime of great performances. Fancy Feast, the perfect balance for life.
I'd give the world to be able to stand up and carry you to bed.
Tonight is the first night of our life, free of Clay Holden.
When you say just beginning, I hope you don't mean another vendetta.
I mean whatever it takes to teach Alex Masters not to cross me in public again.
I think you're a manipulating sadist.
Don't push me, Stacey.
No, Clay, don't you push me.
Start an affair with Loving weekdays.
In the last 48 hours, do you feel good about that?
Well, I don't feel good about scaring anybody, but the truth is, when we had that big win in Hawaii on Thursday, I took 82% of the total vote, and Bob Dole got 9%, George Bush got 9%, and coming into here, it was much the same thing. I've seen wonderful support. It's humbling to me to see that kind of support, but I believe after this win in Iowa, I'm going to be coalescing the conservatives. Many of the Reagan supporters around the country will be coming over to my campaign. I think that among the staunch supporters, they will be given hard. It'll be like I had a rocket strapped to my back now, and I should be taking off very substantially.
Well, if you do that, if you do that, we certainly would like to see it. We'd like to have pictures of it, Mr. Robertson. Now,
I'll do it, David.
All right. Iowa is Iowa, and New Hampshire is quite different. Do you have an invisible army in New Hampshire that will march out on primary day and give you a lot of votes?
Our staff up there indicates that I'm beginning to see a tremendous moving. They think I'm now in third place. So again, the battle up in New Hampshire is going to be for second place. And I've got a good army. I don't know how invisible it is, but I'm picking up a lot of conservatives. It'll be very visible now, but the conservatives in New Hampshire, it's a little different tenor, but they like my message. I speak right down the line on the issues. I'm going to be addressing the New Hampshire legislature in a joint session on Thursday, and I'll outline some things I hope will win me some friends up there.
Mr. Robertson, just before I ask you this last question, let me make a point. You're said to be much stronger in caucus states, and a number of the Republican officials in the party are very concerned that you might at some point not support the nominee of the Republican Party, come what may. Will you support the Republican nominee if it is not you?
Well, I'm not letting thoughts like that come into my mind. In a sense, I'm going to be the nominee, and I think this win is establishing me as the new potential winner. But I'm throwing the gauntlet down to George Bush in South Carolina. That's going to be the big primary in a southern state where we'll go head-to-head. And I frankly think the race there will be between me and George Bush, and I expect to beat him. And with that, I will certainly be a team player. I'm going to be a Republican who will broaden the base and enlarge the party.
Okay, Mr. Robertson, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
One of the things we will try to establish a little later on this evening as we listen to Lynn Scherr, who puts all of our numbers together for us and explains what they mean, is whether or not Mr. Robertson has tonight, in fact, broadened his base beyond the conservative or economic right, which has been appealing to him throughout this particular campaign. We will also be coming back to talk to the winner. Remember, Mr. Robertson came in second, Senator Dole, in just a minute.
Live from Des Moines, Iowa, this is ABC News coverage of the 88 vote. Brought to you tonight by Citicorp.
Because Citicorp understands the drive to succeed, to do more than just get by, we've become the nation's largest financial services company, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more student loans, more home mortgages, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. Citicorp and Citibank, we'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Jeep designed Cherokee to give you more than any other vehicle of its kind. Like a choice of 2 or 4 doors and room for 5 adults. And now you can get Cherokee with an optional 4-liter 6-cylinder engine that has more power, a lot more power, than anything in its class. All of this is precisely why 4-Wheel and Off-Road magazine named Jeep Cherokee 4x4 of the year for the 2nd time.
Save up to $1,800 on selected Jeep vehicles, America's winners.
Just make a couple of observations. Pat Robertson there was talking about the turnout and what he thinks he has got. In fact, there was a big increase in turnout for the Democrats since 1984, and David, a considerable increase among Republicans, though not as big as it was for Democrats.
Well, all of this is a bit deja vu. You know, he's running against Washington. He's running against the bureaucrats. Jimmy Carter ran against Washington and the bureaucrats. Ronald Reagan ran against Washington and the bureaucrats. Now, Robertson, he hasn't won yet, but he's doing better than we expected.
I must say, I was over at his campaign headquarters the other night, and there was sort of a glint in the eye, though they wouldn't tell us much about how well organized he was. But I can tell you this, that in the eastern part of the state, they brought in babysitters from Illinois so that people could get out and attend the caucuses. And before the caucus tonight, they held potluck dinners all over the country so they could have an early assessment of just how well they were going to do in these caucuses. Let us go to New York now, where our Dean of Numerology, Lynn Scherr, stands by with the assessment of what the numbers mean and whether or not, perhaps you can tell us, Lynn, whether or not Mr. Robertson is correct in his assessment of touching into the mainstream of Republican voters.
Well, Peter, I'll tell you about Reverend Robertson in just a moment. Let me start with Senator Dole. His sweeping victory in Iowa tonight is due largely to his strength in farm and rural areas of the state. And that's according to interviews with 3,500 Republican voters as they entered their caucuses. But if we look at the way voters in the cities and suburbs cast their ballots, then we can see the real story tonight, why Pat Robertson did so well. According to our poll, Dole took 31% of the city vote, but Robertson came out nearly equal with 28%. And that cut very deeply into George Bush's support. He got only 16% of the city and suburban vote. And incidentally, that is just half of what Vice President Bush received in the cities the last time he ran in an Iowa caucus, which was 1980. and that despite what was considered a strong organization there. But when you look at Pat Robertson's strengths tonight, it's clear that the big city vote was only one factor. Half of Robertson's support came from those farm and rural areas, and the rest came from the cities and the smaller towns. So Pat Robertson is looking good across Iowa tonight, apparently taking votes away from George Bush's presumed strongholds. But if we can look ahead to New Hampshire, the next step, despite what he said, Robertson does not appear to have clear sailing. Our latest poll there shows that he is way behind Bush and Dole, and he has the highest negative rating in New Hampshire. More than a third of the people we talked to said they would not vote for Pat Robertson. Peter?
Thanks, Lynn, very much. I'm also reminded that about a year ago in this state, Pat Robertson said he could turn out 70,000 people. Then he scaled it back to about 40,000 people, David. And then a short while ago, they began to hide the ball. There's a real organizational thing there which nobody else in the more established Republican Party can get their hands on. Quite fascinating.
Well, they seem to be his people there. You know, in his in his political rallies, the audience reaction was as if in a church. They kept saying, amen, hallelujah, though he was talking politics. So no one, I don't think anyone else can do that.
He also continues to try to divest himself of that reverend thing. His campaign staff likes to refer to him no longer as a Christian broadcaster, but a Christian businessman, which I find very interesting. Now, let us point out again that Mr. Robertson did come in second in this, and Mr. Bush did come in third. The man who came in first was, at least over the last few weeks, widely expected to do so. He's the one of us candidate out here, the Midwesterner, Senator Robert Dole from Kansas, and just a couple of minutes ago, before the broadcast, we talked to him.
Well, we don't know. We'll be there tomorrow. I'll be speaking to the legislature at 1 o'clock, again, trying to deliver my message, which is dealing with the deficit, dealing with the Soviet Union. We think the message paid off in Iowa. Just have to wait and see, but we're ready to go to work.
You begin moving up in the polls in New Hampshire already. Is there some thought in your own mind you can actually beat George Bush in New Hampshire?
Well, we thought about that, but again, that's going to be determined by the voters. We had a lot of confidence in the Iowa voters. They looked at us pretty carefully. They do the same in New Hampshire, and they've been looking for a long time. I think there's a big pool of undecided voters in that state, and hopefully they'll take a good hard look at Bob Dole.
Senator, what do you make of Pat Robertson's very strong showing, coming in second?
Well, I think it did surprise me. I must say our tracking was Dole versus Bush. Our numbers are about what we predicted, what we felt might happen, but the Robertson numbers were obviously, we didn't measure those. We knew they were higher than other polls had indicated, but it's a remarkable showing by Pat Robertson. It means there are a lot of people out there that might become Republicans.
Well, and a showing less than expected for Vice President Bush, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. I mean, it seems to me when the Vice President did very well here in 80, 30-some% of the vote left this state thinking he might go all the way. I don't know what happened, but it's been a good, hard race. But I do believe that the Iowa voters, just as New Hampshire voters, want us to be more specific. They want to know what Bob Dole's going to do. Bob Dole might get elected. Bob Dole may have to deal with the Soviets. He has to deal with a deficit. So we've been trying to make that clear as we travel around. We think it's paid off.
Senator, I think everyone assumes that you and Vice President Bush are going to go on sniping at each other in some personal level. Do you think that hurt the Vice President here?
I don't know, but you're not going to find Bob Dole doing it. I don't believe in personal attacks, and I'm going to try to stick with the issues, stick with our game plan. Now, if somebody attacks my wife, I might raise my voice, but otherwise, I'm going to stay right out there on the issues.
And let's look a little past New Hampshire. How well do you think you are organized in the South, and therefore how well positioned in the South?
We're really quite well organized. I think people have been looking at the numbers, and it's been 2-1, Bob Dole second, Bush first. We come back after New Hampshire. Remember, we come back to the Midwest again, back to South Dakota, back to Minnesota, then Wyoming, then Kansas, then South Carolina, Vermont. So there's still a number of states before Super Tuesday. Now, if we can continue talking issues and do well in those states, I think we might do well in the South.
Oh, we know you're planning your campaign and not Vice President Bush's campaign, but from your best judgment, what does he have to do now to recover?
I really don't know. I mean, I think that's going to be a big, you know, I bet they're meeting right now in New Hampshire. I don't know what they do to recover. Maybe it's just a temporary problem. Maybe Iowa was never going to be a Bush state. But I assume they're looking at all the options. while they're doing that, we're working on our speech tomorrow to the state legislature.
Senator, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just before we continue, there's a couple of observations. Our broadcast tonight is really split in two parts. The Republican part now, and then the Democratic part a little later on, because the Democratic caucuses, which are much more complicated than the Republican ones, are still going on. And though we're able to project Richard Gebhardt as going to be the winner based on the first of two waves of votings that the Democrats in the caucuses indulge in, the Democratic story is not yet fully unfolding here. And one more observation for those of you who don't watch the caucuses in Iowa quite as fervently as some. We know this is not the most typical state in the Union. It is 29th in size. It is very white. It is more liberal on many issues than other states. Very white, that is to say, virtually no blacks or Hispanics, and rather older than most states, but close to the national average in income and with a very healthy two-party system. And it has enough quirks to make the campaign interesting for all of us. So we're glad you could join us. We'll be back in a minute to talk about, though not to, George Bush.
ABC's Olympic Diary is brought to you by Jeep.
Sixten Jernberg of Sweden is the greatest cross-country skier in Olympic history, perhaps the greatest Winter Olympic athlete of all time. Over the course of 3 Olympiads, he won 4 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze medals, more than any other Winter Olympian. More perhaps than anyone will again.
Jeep designed Cherokee to give you more than any other vehicle of its kind, like a choice of 2 or 4 doors and room for 5 adults. And now you can get Cherokee with an optional 4-liter 6-cylinder engine that has more power, a lot more power, than anything in its class. All of this is precisely why 4-Wheel and Off-Road magazine named Jeep Cherokee 4x4 of the year for the 2nd time.
Save up to $1,800 on selected Jeep vehicles, America's winners.
Sixten Jernberg lives now in Lima, Sweden, where he runs a sport village he built himself.
More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. And Ted Koppel is one of the reasons why. The exclusive insight, probing questions, and recognized authority.
Expect us to report the events that touch your life in the way they really happen.
Expect the world of ABC News.
The 88 vote, the Iowa caucuses, will continue in a moment.
I can't marry you.
Why? I'm only 6 years younger.
Oh, I don't care about that.
What do you care about? My hair? My tie?
Your breakfast.
Like this?
Yeah, it's old-fashioned.
Hey, I'm an old guy.
All those years of sugar and preservatives.
You're right.
Nutri-Grain whole wheat flakes. No sugar added, no preservatives.
That's good. Now will you marry me?
I thought you were 5 years younger.
Dedicated to the ones we love.
Let's hook up our phones, computers, messaging, the works through here.
We can't. Our phone systems down south are 3 years older than the new one here. Same make, different technology.
You bought us a $2 million phone system that doesn't work with anything else?
Just to emphasize before we continue, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. David.
Well, we are going, where are we going first? We're going to Carol Simpson?
New Hampshire.
All right, Carol Simpson has been following the Bush campaign all along, and they cannot be having the best time, the happiest time of anybody in Iowa. It may be the worst. Carol, what is it like over there?
Very depressing, David. We campaigned in 4 Iowa cities early today, and we could tell that something was wrong, that the Bush campaign had an indication that they were in big trouble, and they began preparing for a third-place finish. But I don't think anyone was prepared for the very poor third-place finish that Vice President Bush got. He spent 38 days in the state campaigning, which is 8 more than he spent in 1980 when he won the Iowa caucuses. He spent $700,000. He had what was reputed to be one of the best organizations in Iowa, and yet this poor finish. He went up to his hotel suite here in Nashua, New Hampshire, when we returned here, and he came down and talked to reporters and said that he was disappointed but not discouraged, and he offered his congratulations to Pat Robertson and to Bob Dole, promising that he would win in New Hampshire next Tuesday.
Okay, Carol, thanks very much. No gain for the vice president, obviously, in coming out and answering reporters' questions this evening. Joining us here in Des Moines, one of our reporters, ABC News' Jeff Greenfield, and the man who was the campaign manager for Walter Mondale in the last campaign, Bob Beckel. We've asked them to play a sort of role this evening. Jeff, I'd like you to play the campaign manager, which you were before you became a journalist. And Bob, you play Vice President Bush, and you guys work out what you're going to say tomorrow. Jeff?
Mr. Vice President, you can't attack Pat Robertson because it's sour grapes.
For the pain. It did the job without irritating my stomach like aspirin or even ibuprofen can. In our house, when we need a pain reliever, the one we trust is the one the experts use, Tylenol.
Only one pain reliever is used most by hospitals, Tylenol.
Important news today. Kleenex Huggies Super Trim Diapers, making happy babies from the coast of Maine to sunny California. In fact, nationwide. Why? We're pleased to report Huggies Super Trim Diapers have soft, gentle, elastic waistbands and a Super Trim padding that absorbs wetness and holds it away. So Super Trim is trim-fitting and helps stop leaking. So tonight, it's happy news from Huggies, and that's the way it is.
I live for Saturday nights. Let's go dancing.
What about a movie?
Movie? Well, at least I know what shoes to wear. These great little flats from Payless.
Bowling's always fun.
Bowling? Well, I can wear them anywhere, and since it's Payless, they cost practically nothing.
What do you say we stay in and order a pizza?
I'd say, get a good lawyer.
Dancing.
Good idea.
Save on women's textured dress flats right now at Payless. The latest styles are on sale for just $9.99. Payless Shoe Source. You could pay more, but why?
Clint?
Nina.
Hey, real?
It's a miracle.
Clint?
I'm here.
Oh, my God.
It's like a miracle.
It is.
And we're together. And we're alone. Just like I dreamed it. And nothing will ever take us apart again. I love you.
The reunion of Nina and Cliff. Only on All My Children.
The Braun cordless curler never needs electricity and heats up in only 90 seconds. For beautiful hair anytime, anywhere. The best-selling curlers in Europe are now here. Braun cordless curlers.
If your bowl gets nasty, this Sanaflash granular. It's so effective it even removes rust, and it destroys household germs. Sanaflash granular. It takes the beast out of your bowl.
Embrace me, my sweet embrace of you. My sweet embrace of you.
Taboo, an embrace that lives forever in a fragrance.
Taboo.
Spread on this, slip on that. 36 calories, how about that? Give them all a little pat of butter.
Pure natural dairy butter. It has the same calories as margarine, just 36 per pat.
Give them all a little pat of butter.
One Life to Live will continue in a moment.
Live Christmas Day. Celebrate the season's festivities with fun and fantasy Disney style. Joan London and Alan Thicke host the Walt Disney World Very Merry Christmas Parade.
Please join again in Channel 7 and Elias Brothers Can-Do program. Bring a can of food to any Elias Brothers restaurant from now till January. Together, we can do it.
American Family, the only sweepstakes that's made its winners millionaires 5 years running. Beat this date, and you may be our next $10 million winner. Just like me. Millions of dollars for homes, travel, boats, cars, all for you. And still have millions of dollars left over. Watch for the sweepstakes with my picture and be sure to enter before January 29th. You may be American Family Publishers' next $10 million winner.
We built a proud new feeling, A&P.
A very merry price on Coca-Cola products. $1.79 plus deposit, 8 half liters. Your best holiday tips, buy Cane's potato chips, $1.79, 16-ounce regular or Marsal. A coffee break, $3.99, 2-pound can Maxwell House regular ADC Electroperk. Picture this, A&P's complete 24-hour photo processing.
We built a proud new feeling at A&P.
Is NutraSweet a killer? On the next Kelly and Company.
Big juicy blueberries bursting as they bake. Keebler makes new elfin loaves just like Mom used to make. Only smaller.
The Keebler elves bake real fruits, nuts, and spices into snacking-size elfin loaf snap breads. Then wrap them and rush them fresh to your grocer's freezer.
Blueberry, banana, carrot, brings in for a snack or a break.
New Keebler elfin loaves.
Just like Mom used to make. Only smaller.
If you like bananas, you're gonna love new Dole Pine Orange Banana Juice.
I've got a feeling today's the day. Wanna get going in a different way. The perfect vacation from orange juice is Dole. The perfect vacation from orange juice is Dole.
Get away with new Dole Pine Orange Banana, the only fruit juice made with ripe banana, refreshing orange, and Dole 100% pure pineapple juice.
The perfect vacation from orange juice is Dole.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Santa Claus.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down to a long winter's nap.
Dad, it still works.
There's no better gift than the sound of your voice.
Now, Sunlight for dishwashers comes in a liquid.
You make me sparkle, glisten, glimmer, and shine. You make me look like I'm something divine. You make me oh so clean. Yeah, you leave me spotless.
New liquid Sunlight dissolves quickly and rinses completely, so it gets all your glasses this spotless, even in sunlight.
Yeah, you leave me spotless.
New Sunlight. No liquid gets glasses more spotless.
Thursday, enter the magical world of Santa and his elves. Journey behind the scenes of the making of a movie spectacular. Dudley Moore hosts this holiday special for the entire family, Santa Claus, the making of the movie. Then, take a ride through those thrilling days of yesteryear.
Who is that masked man?
The legend of the Lone Ranger.
Thursday.
Beep, beep, new boo. Surprise, buns cake.
Tunnel of fudge is luscious fun. Just 6 minutes and it's done. A special treat to tantalize. Inside is a fudge surprise.
Loving from the oven.
Pillsbury.
New tunnel of fudge. Taste this, kiss, kiss. The microwave cake. You can't resist. Pillsbury. Giggle, giggle. Loving from the oven. Beep, beep.
The essence of the emerald, captured in a fragrance. Surround yourself in its mystery. Emerald.
When your coffee's rich enough for all working day long, and it tastes your way, it's necessarily Nescafe.
Great coffee blends to taste the way. That's necessarily Nescafe.
See these ordinary red stickers? Well, they're red, but ordinary? No. See, Publishers Clearinghouse is announcing the winning number that could win you $10 million on January 29th. Now, no one else is going to tell you this, but these stickers could mean a whole other $1 million if you hurry. You'll only find your sticker inside the Publishers Clearinghouse envelope. So, look for the house, find your sticker, and if you win, remember, you heard it here.
There are over 500,000 doctors in America, and they catch colds just like you. So, which cold medicine would family doctors like yours take for their own achy colds with congestion and sneezing? In a nationwide survey for their own achy colds, more doctors said they take the formula in Dristan than the formulas in Sudafed, Actifed, and Dimetap combined.
I'm going to take what doctors would take. Wouldn't you?
Tristan, with the formula more doctors would take, tablets or caplets.
Tuesday,
No, this is not Mrs. Claus.
it's a moonlighting special delivery.
We got everything in a store except a camel.
Anybody care for a smoke?
And
I got 2 wives, 3 kids, 4 cars, 2 mortgages, and that's life, pal.
see how it all began the very first 30-something after Moonlighting Tuesday.
Ginate. Afterbath. Splash. Exhilarating.
Why cook in oil, margarine, or butter? All-natural Pam adds only 1/10 the fat and calories and keeps food light and delicious. Pam cooking spray, because how you cook is as important as what you cook.
Give your hair a fresh start, away from dulling buildup that most hair products leave behind.
Introducing Germac's new reviving system.
You'll see dramatic results in just 1 use with gloriously revived shine and body. So try it. You'll love it.
If you buy a Kodak Ultralight battery for your garage door opener today, the next time you change it could be the year 2001. Kodak introduces gold-tipped ultralight lithium batteries. Go for the gold.
Excuse me.
Yes?
If Hunt's came out with a new spaghetti sauce, would you give it a try?
If Hunt's made it, sure.
Sure.
What if it came in a can?
Hunt's has always canned the best tomatoes. Why not spaghetti sauce?
But what about the spices, seasonings?
Taste it. New Hunt spaghetti sauce beat the leading national sauce 2-to-1.
It is better.
Great taste and value.
It had to be Hunt's.
Try new Hunt spaghetti sauce. It had to be Hunt's.
Ooh, I want to hear all about this.
Get the latest word from the stars on Soap Talk.
Is this a bad time?
Dial 1-900-410-SOAP for a new message every day and sneak previews each weekend.
Right, I'm counting on it.
It's Soap Talk. An ABC News Brief, now from New York, Richard Threlkel.
Good afternoon. Philippine rescue officials have little hope of finding any more survivors after a collision between a ferry boat and an oil tanker. More than 1,500 people are feared dead. The traditional Christmas Eve reception in Bethlehem has been canceled because of continued unrest in Israeli-occupied territory. Religious ceremonies will go on as usual. And Woody Allen and Mia Farrow have named their new son Satchel. That's News Brief.
Great news. If you're one of the first 25 people to call any Living Well lady by 9 p.m. tonight, you'll get 30 days for $1. That's 30 days for $1. Don't miss out.
Tonight on Channel 7 Action News at 5, a car plows into a bus this morning in Detroit and dozens of people are injured. Some are in serious condition. We'll have the full story. And tighter security begins at Metro Airport today, and passengers are not the ones affected. We'll see why. Then on Action News at 6, tired of Christmas shopping in all the usual places? Catherine Lahan will show you a spot where thousands of people are going for holiday bargains. Plus, this could be your last chance to make important financial decisions that could give you a break on your taxes. Watch 7's Action News at 5 and 6.
It's time for another ABC Warehouse Home Shopper Special. I'm Kim.
And I'm Jim with a beautiful 52-inch Magnavox. Gives you a great picture, great stereo.
Oh, and 3 remotes in one.
3 remotes?
Yep. It's pre-programmed to work with TV, cable, and most any other brand VCR.
You won't need all these anymore?
Nope.
Plus next day delivery and no payments till February.
Okay, how much can I save?
This week only you can save $500.
$500?
Yep, Kim, just one more reason why ABC Warehouse is
the closest thing to wholesale.
Barry Manilow on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Mattel Preschool wants to know, what did your See-and-Say teach you?
The rooster says...
Boy, bee. Boy, bee. I never cross the street alone. I hold a grown-up's hand. Run, R-U-N. Jack and Jill went up the hill fetching...
See-and-Say. Learning's never been more fun. Only from Mattel Preschool.
Dip into the holiday spirit with something new. McDonald's Holiday Chicken McNuggets in festive 9 and 20-piece packs. Tasty chunks of chicken and 2 new sauces. Tangy cranberry with a twist of orange and sweet apple spiced with cinnamon. Better chime in before holiday McNuggets are gone.
a million Publishers Clearinghouse. Oops, thanks. 2 million. Now we're laughing all the way to the bank.
We're speeding up the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes to make it the fastest way for you to win $10 million. You could get $50 just for speeding up your $10 million entry. So hurry. The number that could win you $10 million will be announced on TV this January 29th. Just watch your mail for this house, because only Publishers Clearinghouse can make you so rich, so fast. So enter.
I have the worst cold I ever had in my whole life. I sneeze so much I think my nose is broke. I cough so loud I woke up Robin.
For all these symptoms, there's Pediacare. Unlike medicines adults can take, Pediacare is made especially for a child's cold, or a child's cold with a cough. And it's measured precisely for your child's age and weight.
My cold went bye-bye. I finally stopped sneezing.
A child's cold needs special care. Pediacare.
Beep, beep, sizzle, sizzle, crunch, crunch, crunch. Give them a hug, give them a crunch. Who's got the crunch? I've got a hunch. Pizza that's crisp, how can it be? It's microwave from Pillsbury. Loving from the oven, Pillsbury. We warm, we're hot, beep, beep, pop, pop. With everything you love on top. Crunch, crunch, giggle, giggle. Loving from the oven, beep, beep.
Hi, I'm the Swiss Miss. The best thing about Swiss Miss Cocoa is the way it makes you feel, with the taste as special as the finest Swiss chocolate. It feels like a big warm hug from the inside. And now there's new Swiss Miss European cream cocos with flavors like chocolate cream.
And amaretto cream.
Share them when you want a big warm hug from the outside. Swiss Miss Cocos for warm feelings.
Flight 124, fly runway heading to 3000, right turn to 270. You are cleared for takeoff.
Presenting DuPont Certified Stain Master Carpet. Stain Master gives you a revolutionary level of protection against stains and spills that's unsurpassed by any other carpet you can buy today. Because you never know. Stain Master from DuPont Carpet Fibers.
Embrace me, my sweet embrace of you. My sweet embrace of you.
Taboo, an embrace that lives forever in a fragrance.
Taboo.
Poor Barbara. It's time to go to work.
Come on.
But her cold medicine made her drowsy. If only she could go back and take Sudafed instead. Sudafed. Relief begins in 22 minutes without drowsiness.
The essence of the emerald, captured in a fragrance. Surround yourself in its mystery. Emerald.
I feel like I wanna be feeling. Look at the smile on my lips. I've got that feminine